at our agent select. Let's find out, have we been rambling or do we know our stuff? We got Moose here on the Boyz. We got Bonnie on the Neon. That's the kind of game plan I got to look for. So honestly, what do you think about the double smoke here? Double controller, less initiate, or actually a lot of initiation. No sentinel is Burger Boyz' answer.
Which is interesting. It's not the only map that like Alvin Boy plays the Omen on. I think that's literally the idea here, is that on other controller maps, right, you have a player like Nanners playing the controller, and then otherwise it's an Omen map, it's Alvin, and they are usually playing the Sentinel maps like Icebox. And actually, wait a minute, you're right, that's a change. They were on Cypher before on Fracture, so they switched over to the Omen. I'm wondering if they wanted that extra ability to fight forward, if that makes sense, right? You wanted your paranoia, or also in this map, it's so hard to have smokes when you're in the controller's eyes and you're trying to rotate later into the round.
And here comes the round, already starting off. Look at that minimap. Look at the flank developed. You want to start taking A, and it's about what's behind you right here. All of spawn pushed in. We got Bones, Sheriffs, a whole lot of Sheriffs here for defense. Right? 3 of them. So it's all about the aim. And yep, they do hear him. They turn around on it. And the util dump from Matt, clean for the first pick. That's going to scare out everybody. All this util. This is why you lock it in. But somehow Bones is able to get one. And now they're pushing out of their smokes to get absolutely punished for it. Matt with the 3K having to ace this if his teammate falls. But this is the crossfire that they need. And that's Nanners with 2. And that's the round.
Just the speed of the communication and the utter flip from, you know, trying to push through. And I was worried because we saw that Vice utility set up on the choke point. I'm like, they're going to get trapped here, right? The delay of the Razor Vines is going to set them up for success. But also, it's interesting, right? I like the dedication from Burger Boyz. Even on pistol stability, you leave like a singular player right over B main just to comp any util that was invested. But if that happened, they would have gotten overwhelmed, shut down. And now Burger Boyz start things out right on their map pick. As we head into the bye round, we have Spectres and a Guardian and maybe Retro. This is what I said. You leave a player over here to see the utility usage.
Absolutely. And remember what Retro can do with snipers is actually just pull out a shorty and take a sight by himself. It's crazy. So we saw that yesterday. I want to see more of that from Retro, but we're going to be taking it nice and slow here on Fracture. There's a lot of orbs for these defensive teams to actually start picking up. I mean, you look over at Jonah, already halfway to Tahoe ultimate. That's another thing about Fracture that's really slept on is, oh, we get a whole lot of ults.
Yeah, and I think that's what has inspired this. You have to fight somewhere out on the map unless you don't have weapons. And that's why you can see Landor, what do? They push down Dish. They clear out all of Bridge side. So they basically know that all these players are coming out of B main. They can set an easily retake.
Great shots through that smoke. Alvin Boy is going to be able to grab off one, and half the HP taken away already. You do have some players on the flank, and off the Boyz. Our Moose is now hunted, leaving us with a 3v5 with not the best weapons to go for a retake. And I guess the goal, die to bomb. That's why they're kind of getting close, try to get at least a couple picks here.
You mentioned it, ult's important. Jonah, right? If they find these kills, which I'm surprised I haven't sent them hunting necessarily here. Like, that's your player that you would want to go for kills right now. Low key. And unfortunately, they're gonna fall. I mean, that's still good though. You want them to die.
Yeah, you're getting the ult orbs, and you actually might be just finishing it up. This could be a flawless. Alvin Boy locks it in like that. Flawless round coming out from Burger Boyz. Landor, they are so close to having a 3rd round ultimate here on Tahoe. So, Fracture, retake, good luck.
But so is Matt. Look, 4 off from the Rolling Thunder. They even force up the Vandal for Bonnie, hand off the Guardian. So there is a really good chance at a 3rd round conversion here versus these rifles and these potential ultimates for Landor.
Yeah, and now let's see if those ultimates, if those conversions are going to be found. But let's see what Burger Boyz is thinking in their bonus.
I'm ready to missile.
Can I missile? He's pushing on me, he's pushing on me.
Nice.
He's stopping him back. We can keep fighting this guy. Sure. I have blast out. Can you spot drop? Can you spot drop?
Are you holding a B man?
I'm gonna blast on you.
Peek off you.
I wanna peek this.
Drop is open, guys.
I'm flashing.
Close.
Keep fighting together. Almost left me, off me. Off me, It's both, I'm holding.
Do they have bomb or do we have bomb?
Whoa. Oh, it's both. I got flash. Breach just hit 120, bro. Are they speeding?
I'm about to just open.
No, not speeding.
Minus 120.
Could be.
Both.
They have vandals now.
Did they pass?
Yeah, both. He's running right now. It's both for sure right now.
They
think
opened
he's
just
Could be
one there, I
sides.
think.
They could
30
be now.
seconds left.
One
Maybe
sec.
still.
They have to go here.
Weapon here.
Coming A. Coming A. One's A, man.
Amen.
All missiles away.
Both.
There.
10 seconds left. Last
Nice.
player standing.
Nice.
I whiffed, but it's all good.
Yeah, I should have turned that flash. Warming up.
And while we thought we were going to be getting a listen in with Burger Boys, I'm glad that that was a Landor listen in instead, right? We got to see the coordination in the A main space, taking that they tried, right, previously and failed to do so. We got to see the thought process of, okay, when it whittles down to a 2v2, how do you not take risks? And it's your Vice, moves, rotates over, plays hand in hand with Shot up there to figure out, okay, where is Spike going to go down? Let's fight this together or rotate, retake, because they had the Vice flash on B. They have the info there. And it worked out in their favor. They denied the bonus conversion, but it was costly. So Burger Boys, rifles in hand, a chance to expand this lead.
All right, Bonnie, let's see what you can do with it. Now Suppress, you're just a normal person now. Can you run on up with these picks? And Matt is going to be the first blood finder. Burger Boys now at a huge advantage, not having to worry about Bones as Yade, all of this. And it's going to be Bonnie not turning around in time. And Bofa gets a pick, and that's Shot up, cleaning it up.
Still alive here. Like, at least your duelist did your job, made the space for you. This deposit retro, your secondary duelist, we call them now, but they like the jet mentality. And look at this, if the smoke stays inside, they can get in before the army gets procced. And now what they're going to do instead is special delivery, so you can't punish off of that movement, off of that get off your feet mentality.
Yeah, off your feet. It's going to be Alvin Boy able to get us kill through that smoke now. Hopefully, we can find another chance at a re-hit as it's all the smoke's fading, all the time getting ticked down. And here comes the big push and no ammo. It's going to be Matt with the double down. Beautiful teamwork from them and Nanners, but that means that no real round conversion here. In Landor, they're on their toes for the first time this LAN.
Yeah, my heart sunk there for a sec when Alvin Boy runs out of bullets. I thought Matt was for sure about to get traded out. But what I saw, what we kind of highlighted, was this coordination between the Armageddon and the Rolling Thunder coming on in tandem, leading two teams. And look, the same exact thing is about to happen, but in reverse. Retro, 2 off from Armageddon, Neptune, 3 off from the Rolling Thunder. So you talked about, okay, is Landor going to find their way out of it? They can use it next round when they have guns. I think they can.
Let's hope that they're going to be able to find some damage with these pistols. Anyways, a fat stack over by Dish. They want to get aggressive, but they got the info. They know that these players are chilling over here in Arcade. They want to try to now cut it off, and they did manage to leave a Vise all alone. Here's Moose, one of the most seasoned players.
And they push their B main as well, so they know there's an alert player at spawn, and the drone's going to confirm it.
Oh, that re-swing. A little bit biting off more than you can chew, but you need to find a pick for your team, especially as this is going to be a pretty tough site to try to hold.
I mean, again, we're in a position where a lot of the players are here. They cleared a lot of space out.
Take this, let it go.
They're thorough. Look at this. They're re-clearing main, so not only are you going to be able to find Bone, but you should be able to find Jonah, who's also pushing through spawn, unless they don't clear it out secondarily. Nanner's protecting Alvin, who was fully stunned here. A judge in the smoke. Jonah.
Uh-oh. Missing some of those shots. Not exactly ideal, but at the end of the day, it's just movement diff here and Alvin Boy to be able to get that pick. But, I mean, we asked, what is the Neon going to be able to bring? And right now, it has been the fancy footwork, all right? This is exactly what Alvin Boy is doing. They're kind of styling on the team that has terrified the bracket.
And I'm curious, I guess, like, the thought process there from Landor, was it to fight forward and hopefully take a fight Dish, and that's why they fell back up there, they got the info? Because we saw on the pistol, right, they would like follow, or like on the secondary round, they would follow through and take that space, and I think if they did, like maybe they would be able to get one there, and then the other would run, because then they're alone Arcade, and the B split would fall apart. But ultimately, this is the round we're looking at. Ults for both about to come online. Weapons, this is where Burger Boys can solidify their lead, or at least a safety net, or Landor can turn things around and bring us a bit closer.
I think it's crazy we have an attacking judge here that is finding value. And now it's Moose who isn't finding value. Bonnie absolutely shutting down the only character I thought would shut him down. A complete no-you. Really solid opener for us. But it's about Landor's attempt at recovery. They do have the showstopper. They want to try to maybe get one of these players out of these corners with that AoE. But note that this, a huge ultimate here as Neptune's going to be able to get one. Matt gets another. It's a big trade, and the showstopper not going to quite land. And now they have to push out through main together. Retro turns that flash. A nice flash. Luckily, Bones is there to back you up after you blind yourself. And Bones does it again with the double down, leaving it. What a play for aggression, and what a round from Bones.
Yeah, the clean sweeper coming in through A main. I was nervous in how fast I conceded space. I thought they had a good counter with Nanners and the orbital strike, right? So that they couldn't showstopper, and then you still evade it with some hops. But the idea to quickly and speedily realize that nobody was sand after they saw a lot of players main when Moose falls, so they push the revolving door and immediately flip the map, essentially. And you are denied the spike plant, and it just falls apart. And I think Bonnie there, I don't think they got ahead of themselves, but they didn't confirm how many players were there, I think. So they slide into one, or maybe they knew and just took the gamble, and it didn't pay off.
I mean, that's the play. Today, it's about gambling. And, of course, with 10K on the line, that's the pot has reached $10,000. Let's see it. It's now time for these guys. Burger Boys, they still had a lot of cash after winning quite a few rounds. Landor having to prove themselves consistently is going to be going into this with a Guardian for Neptune. So the Rolling Thunder online. And that's not going to hit. Oh, they're going to have to back up, but re-hitting this. They're inviting a fight.
There's so many players here, too. And now they're starting to group up again, trusting in Moose and their fold over the A side of the map. We've got to see a breakthrough here, and they're hoping to get it from Retro and the stealth drone. Players outside, the Sky Swipes get invested. Bonnie is in. The retaliation is immediate.
Yeah, and here comes the retaliation with Matt with the double down, and there's Jonah from the tower with the power to get shut down by Bonnie, leaving us now with only Moose in a 1v3. Ultimate is available, but it comes down to can they make this a 1v2? And look at that. Bonnie, so solid, and immediately it's the steel cage to go online. Might be able to find one, and yes, cleans up another, and Moose is going to be able to keep this going. Finds the players in tower, knows that it's planted for it, but the Rolling Thunder is online. The fingers are ready to zap, and it's up to Matt to just keep it going, and the timing is perfect, and that's going to be the pick for Matt.
Yeah, I mean, that's the benefit of the Steel Guardian, is it strips the guns away, but that time period, that timeline is so expedited. They had to take space, and I think the re-wrap there would have been great from Bonnie, even if they didn't, you know, win the fight off the full stun from the Rolling Thunder. We've seen that a lot, and they know how to play a round of ice at this point. Aside from that, I like the positioning from Jonah, right? Tape deep arcade space, no one to concede it. I think what was the shining moment there is, I think Nanners popped the incendiary right outside of Canteen, so they couldn't push in off of the Rolling Thunder.
Yeah, and unfortunately, not being able to take that kind of space definitely is leading in Burger Boys' favor, because you have a player like Bonnie who just is collecting space like Infinity Stones. We got Thanos on this team, about to zap people away, and a snap of their fingers is lightning out of them. There we go, stuns up and wants to try to push on in, and might be able to find more. Should know that there might be one above them, and no, they're completely lost. They have no idea that Neptune's here. That's a free pick, but doesn't get more than two, but there goes your bomb carrier. But now Alvin's gonna be keeping this up with more and more damage. It's about the flank.
Ooh, no hold here either when you sacrifice your Cypher, sacrifice your Sentinel, but you can not take the Sentinel out of Alvin Boy. The mentality on the flank is there. The first and almost the second kill. The three-piece though, the chip damage achieved, position known. What can Moose do?
Right now, Moose does have that Guardian, so distance-wise should be able to get one or two, but we'll just have to keep taking this slow. Unfortunately, hasn't really found a weapon to upgrade in this, so the odds of Moose going for a save, we know he's a solid player, but all of this util is just dumping him through, and now here's a dump shot right into the head of Matt, but there's not a lot of time. Finds the Phantom, finds an exit.
I love that as soon as Nanners falls, as soon as Matt falls, Bonnie's like, nope, I'm out, I'm low HP, we ain't throwing this round, we want to keep the weapon as well. You want to set yourself up for these last few rounds you have. I mean, you've already gotten the 61 advantage, you have ults, it's all coming together, and you don't want to throw that away. And I think my big question mark there is, Moose on that retake had all of his utility as well. So
Well, I mean, the Sentinel, yeah, gets to be able to pick it up and move on, but didn't even place it at the start?
No, the wall
Wow.
wasn't placed. The thorns, you can't pick them up after the round starts.
Oh, yeah, the Thorns, too, yeah. So going into that, I guess, really just said,
Like, now it's out.
I think it's worth it that he didn't, because that's a good read. They're not pushing the site that he was holding.
Okay. Well, now, full setup on the B site. A little bit drier around in terms of ultimates, minus that Orbital Strike. Maybe. I'm just lying. I can't spawn. That Armageddon. You got the overdrive. Are they going to use them? No, it doesn't seem to be the case. Bonnie says, I don't need it.
Turn Bonnie? Okay. Just kills everybody. Both of them able to grab Nanners. That's going to be a little bit of a brim diff here, but luckily with the double controller strat, you have more smoke still available. But, oh my god, Bonnie, this aggression, so aggressive with it and so valuable. 3 kills down, wants an ace here. Now it's up to Shot Up, who's pushing close. Bonnie hears it. This is when we see the fingers and executes immediately. That was anticlimactic.
I mean, yeah, they did more without the ultimate. And now, all right, the Retro Volt has returned. Stay on site, play safe, play your ult, and they might have to, right? The 2v2, the Orbital Strike still in contention here. No time, though, to save. Wow. And that means Burger Boyz is guaranteed a lead at the half. It is their map pick, but we said we need this team to get the ball rolling, which is uncharacteristic for them, right? Like, every single map they have won in the playoffs, they have started down and out and then had to work, claw their way back up. So against the hardest team they faced probably in this tournament so far, this is refreshing. Yeah,
I mean, you talk stats. Average for how many rounds are taking against Landor has been surpassed already, and we're now 9 rounds deep. This is a big change of pace for them, and right now, when you have a big change of pace, your momentum is skewed here at the Momentum Series. Most teams have opted for that timeout just to maybe see if their mental's okay, just to maybe see if we know how to slow this team down. But right now, Landor's strat shoot him in the face a little bit more, and I think that can definitely be had as long as they set themselves up well early.
Well, it's another forced buy, but lots of ultimates to work with. I think is their reasoning for it, right? Bones, one off the showstopper. You have also a judge who get close up in their face off of it. Orbital Strike, Armageddon. It's like, this is a nice either really aggressive or retake heavy setup, which I think why now that they've relinquish the initial pressure. They're keeping the safe post-plant players like the Orbital Strike and the Armageddon away from danger towards A. And it's the Rays ready as soon as the wall is tripped, perhaps, to take Bonnie out of the equation, if possible.
I mean, taking them out of the equation definitely going to be, you know, priority number 1. But I'm also looking at all of these ultimates that are available for them. They have this Armageddon. And if they can use that, it's a free post play. If they can shut these players down, it's a free site. And if it's a free half for Burger Boyz, Landor's going to be going into this with a huge frown on their face. But all the rotates, the mini-map shifting around, a site now aggressive.
Ooh. And I mean, at this point, right, like, we haven't even had contact on contact at this point. And it's all going to come crashing down. Armageddon sprung. Site, I say they kind of delayed it, and now it's just more of a beacon in the sky. The rotations come through for Landor.
But here's Bones with the judge, absolutely clean with it. Pops the showstopper, but their show gets stopped. Retro getting 2 pieces down. Nanners wants to find theirs, but can they get the bomb on the site in time? Is the spike gonna fall? Yes, just in time for Moose to be again our 1v3 clutch haver. Will they find it here as they have to start inching up again?
Here we go. Moose. Again, in a clutch position. A hard obstacle. And again, the regeneration of utility. It's just, you'd rather cut your losses. You'd rather give yourself later hope here. So they're toying with the idea of the save because Burger Boyz isn't even giving him an inch. And now, I mean, look at this, who's following through. Nanners 2 off the ult again. You want the kill here, and unfortunately, you aren't going to find it. Moose, good for the save. Probably not going to meet these 2 players running through spawn. Hopefully before the spike expires, but yeah.
I mean, if you know esports, you know the biggest claim to fame for Moose here is the phrase, the moose is loose. But right now, it feels like he's the one trapped in his in his own steel cage. We haven't seen him be able to leave his sights properly, or at least fast enough for his team to get the value of that Vise. And it's really just, if they find out Vise is on this site, we're going somewhere else.
I think the biggest success that we've seen for sure was that 2v2 clutch. But even then, that was on a bonus round for Burger Boys. So, I mean, I feel like if I'm Moose, I'd be frustrated, right? You're playing outside and Bonnie's chasing you down. You're playing outside, you're getting caught out and killed off the bat anyways. So how do you win is what he's trying to find a balance of here. But aside from that, look at this. A little Taeho utility faked out towards B. They recognize maybe the fast rotations, but Landor's not going to fall for it. They cleared out all of this A main space. Maybe they are going to fall for it and think all the players are right outside this smoke B main, but...
Wait, Zip. Look at the Zip. Where is Retro going? Come on, this is like an inverse of the greatest Fracture moment. Might be able to get right on behind him. They have no idea, but the timing swings out and gets one at least. Okay, good, but dang, that was so unfortunate here for Retro.
All right, and there we go. I mean, I would call that a win regardless, right? The Taeho for Taeho trade. You got immense information that the players are likely going to rebound and come back to main. So what do? You set up your duelist and their initiator support, Matt, Bonnie, ready to face it on. It's a repeat of the pistol. Yeah,
a repeat of the pistol here. And now with the spike planted, the retake's not going to be easy, but Neptune needs to find that opportunity. You do have Burger Boys looking for something, looking around. And here comes the first stun. Bonnie's completely unfazed. Doesn't really care, but look what's going on. We have a Brimstone popping an ultimate to start pushing on close. And yeah, there's Alvin Boy, but that's a 180. And it forces them out. An execution of Matt, and there is Moose. Finally, the Moose is loose and let loose on sight. We see Nanners being able to get good for one, but no! The Moose goes back to the cage, back to B.
Yeah, I mean, that was just orbital strike Venn diagram action. Insane to witness. I mean, I don't know how Alvin Boy didn't get cooked there. They just hide in the smallest of crevices and pop out like, surprise, I'm still here. And I think the distraction that was generated by Jonah was, I mean, it was pretty good in spawn, like the trade out, but ultimately it was Neptune drawing the attention that allowed them to scale up out of the site, but just it's always time right now, and the delay that Burger Boys is able to provide.
There's a chance at a 10-2 against Landor happening right now. I mean, I'm looking at just the stat lines alone. Burger Boys, I've watched this team a lot here at Funhaver and a lot here now at HyperX. We've seen them compete. This team, I'm shocked at this delivery. This is exactly what I wanted to see in our last one of a little bit of an upset, but beautiful. This is so clean.
This is interesting. Did you see Landor fully cleared bridge side, and they've given up all that space and are now redispersing, minus Jonah, who's stuck around arcade. This is interesting. I mean, it makes you know that they're confined to their own spawn for now. The stealth drone makes it seem like they're leaning towards the A site. And I feel like the change here, and this is what I was waiting for, was how do you implement the Vice so they can hold down their site? Introduce a breach with the stun, right? Brim has star power on their own. But when, again, you're getting flushed out by utility, so difficult not to let Bonnie through.
But look at this, all this pressure in Sand. Bonnie is going to be stunned out, and now it's time to get re-aggressive here, and that's Moose able to grab Nanners down. Neptune's grabbing Retro, and there is Moose holding that W key. Alvin Boy somehow finds one with a shorty, but no! It is a perfect use of Razor Vines to dice up their knees, and now it's Matt who needs to clutch a 1v4 if Burger Boys wants to be taking this 10-2.
I mean, the temptation was there to go for the ult orb, I'm sure. But then, I mean, they would have swung through door, and now they are going to swing through door once I would assume the sheer wall goes off. But they don't.
10 seconds left.
Matt, 10 seconds. Again, it's the last start of the half, and Burger Boys not going to find double digits if Landor can stop it.
Yeah, but, I mean, for us to say Burger Boys finding double digits nearly in the first half, I mean, come on, this is Landor. These guys were... I mean, some teams said, oh, they're nothing. Well, those teams aren't here anymore. Burger Boys is here to show up, and right now, they are. But as we are going to be getting into that switch of half, this is Fracture. A half switch means a whole lot.
Yeah, I mean, with these compositions, I mean, double smokes, no sentinel on the defense. It's a scary prospect, but I mean, it's also Fracture. So if you take fights and win them, fight advantage early, I don't think it's going to really harm you in the long run. It's more so, again, your retake has to be on point. You can't expect like Alvin Boy to solo like your sights anymore like they probably would as a Cypher. So I'm curious to see exactly if that's going to be a big mentality shift for them that they have to adjust to.
Let's see this, though. Already a little bit of aggression coming out from a very split attacking side for Landor. And if they're going to split up this much, all right, Scooby-Doo gang, find some clues. Where are we going? What is B? Who is playing where? They don't have a Sentinel, so there's not that big elephant in the room.
No. I mean, I'm worried, right? Moose, you haven't found any of those clues. I mean, the only thing that's good here is your Teo has rotated back over towards A. Stealth drone doesn't spawn anything as well, so they're going to go back. I think Cat's out of the bag. Well, top, but Dribble is all coming from Arcade. It doesn't seem like they're ready to handle it.
Yeah, tower definitely going to be completely flooded out here, but Alvin wants to get aggressive against the one player that's...
Knife.
No way,
Please.
Oh my
Knife
God.
them.
Alvin, boy, stop. This man is just setting up shop in the back end of
Spike
Moose. And
planted.
hello. What? Oh, he whips it. What the? Okay, good job, Alvin, boy. Now it's going to be a 4v2 with the craziest whiff. Trigger discipline going way too far. And Matt, Bonnie having to clutch it. But it's Matt and Bonnie. It's definitely still doable here.
Last crying, and I mean, at this point, Matt, if you somehow stage a comeback, I mean, these players are low HP. Every single one is one right click away from death at this point, and Neptune is going to prevent that. I mean, this was a 9-3 half. If that is anything that a 9-3 curse spells, it is disaster like that. And it's so funny because during stage setup, Edu, Alvin was like waving to me from the balcony, and I'm like, "Are you gonna win?" And he just shrugged. And so to do a play like that, it was.
Oh, we have
so
replay.
funny.
Oh.
No!
Oh my goodness. I mean, that's just a classic right-click moment. He's point blank, right-clicks it, doesn't find the value. Remember, sometimes the
Wait,
knife...
what's the response? Wait, the reaction? Anything? No? Maybe?
You know, when you have a mess up like that, it's best to just act like nobody saw it and there isn't an arena staring at you right now. But as we are getting into this next round, Burger Boy's proving that they like to play with their food a little bit. We could see Landor try to bite back here.
It's a scary prospect for sure if you can snowball on the side of Landor. A few Bulldogs to see if then the players with 2 Ghosts, that's an indicator you know they're going to go for Vandals in the second round, go for a long-term conversion, which, again, you don't have wiggle room on a 9-3. But speaking of wiggle room, the players here, Bridge, have none. Look at the players, Matt, Bonnie, toying with the idea of a swing, but if they delay it a tiny bit, I was going to say they might get the jump or they might have gotten a single player there instead of the entire full force of the team. So that's good here. Then again, it's copy-paste from the pistol.
Copy, pasta, time to swing it, and Alvin Boy now again in the smoke. It's actually going to be Retro to be the first to fall. They know Alvin Boy likes hiding in these, so just drop a nade on him. And this time the right click is going to be able to find one. The 180 gets another one. Alvin Boy finds a Bulldog, and they're taking some bites out of him, but that's the round execution here from the Brimstone Shada.
I mean, that was dicey for a second, right? If Alvin doesn't get refragged from the raise, whoo, it could have slipped away.
Yeah, I mean, that was definitely a pretty scary round here for us in the stage. And now, looking at this next round, we got to know, where are these players thinking? What are they thinking? Where are they going? And Zobi, I think we have to listen into them.
Here, they smoke here. They've conditioned it twice. They haven't done anything with it though.
What, 3, 2, 1,
It is my alarm.
Can you
Your
jiggle?
alarm is going off.
Yeah, I'm gonna jiggle the other side.
Can you jiggle, Bunny?
Yeah, I got you.
They stun?
Let's rotate.
I'm off.
Coming up,
Okay,
yeah,
two
2,
up main,
3,
two up
3,
main.
3. Where reach there?
Stun in 20.
I delayed plant.
Planning.
Spike planted.
Stun me, canteen.
I got you.
Right, you're gonna go.
Tails joining
All
this
we're
one.
all gonna come out canteen.
Okay.
You have
Yeah.
smoke this main?
Yeah.
Bomb going up.
Okay. Do it in like 3 seconds.
Drone
There's
is
one
down.
close.
Okay, smoke. I'm
Nice
studying the close guy.
initiative.
I'm studying the
Flashing.
close guy.
Brim tower. He's canteen.
We can still go.
I'm stunning.
Red stun.
Dead.
Can't arcade. Two arcade.
I'm
out.
through arcade.
One more
One
arcade. 3v2. No. Oh, yeah, both stun.
Last player.
Oh my
I
God.
hit 40.
Hold on to your hats.
I don't want to do this double smoke setup. Okay.
feels
Why
bad,
are you
it
letting
feels
it
bad.
tilt you? Like, it's bad because I didn't do what I told you to do.
Ooh, I mean, we were like, okay, 9-3, this is profound, but the difficulties of swapping away from the Sentinel are starting to show. I mean, the coordination there on the retake attempted, Bones just says, nah. And aside from that, I mean, what do you change then? To me, I think like the logical thing is fight heavy B main.
Yeah.
Like,
I was gonna say
but
either that or A.
they've gone B3 rounds in a row. Like I feel like you're gonna expect at some point that if you're Landor that they have to make that change. So then Landor is just gonna be calling their bluff until they do and be like, okay, well that's one round, that's one strike gone against our comeback. 4 rounds we get until the 13th for them. So then we'll go away after that. But they go arcade instead because that's where the stack has been for long.
You know, that's the thing though. I don't know why we keep stacking over here on this point when right now it's all about if you just have that first initial pick, finding a gun. Trying to go for that stack is a little bit of damage taken, but it's all about finding a weapon in their hands. If we could just give Bonnie a Vandal or a Phantom, it's going to go in the way of Burger Boys. But 9-3 turned 9-6, turned into Retro being able to execute the spike planter. It's time to really shine here. Lots of util, and that's Neptune's double down, and a huge pick here for us as everybody is just keeping it real. But now it's the high ground taken over by Alvin. Bones there, and Alvin, that's the kind of flank you want to do. And the spike still planted, but how much post-plant is available? It's just going to have to be Moose. He's loose, and he's getting it down. Insanity here, as that is going to be all through the smokes and all that she wrote.
Oh, the smile there too on the player cam. I mean, from the Thorns and Theory combo, denying a retake. Then, like you mentioned, through the smoke. We talked about double controller and how it should help this team in that kind of situation. I mean, it's a throwback, I think, to where Noda got 2 in falls. The same with Alvin Boy here. Like, the potential, the execution was good, and it still wasn't enough because you were alone and your team couldn't follow up on it.
Yeah, but now, team follow-up. Are we going to be seeing another aggression play towards Bridge? If we keep seeing it, it's going to be a problem. But for the first time in our semifinals, a team has opted to take a deep breath here. We have a timeout now called, and with timeouts, this is where a team needs to figure out what's going on. I think the biggest thing is after that Alvin Boy play, their team's going to have to be a little bit mentally resettable. They have to press the button, all right? Buzz Lightyear, change it to Spanish.
And we were fortunate, right? Our rival interview for this team was with Bearcoon, the coach. And what he said was he usually doesn't have too much input during these timeouts. It's more like he's like, okay, guys, you need to figure something out. And that's their breather. That's their time to talk. And he usually trusts in what they're able to do. Like, he might make suggestions, but ultimately it's their decision, which is true for any coach. But it's that more kind of laid-back approach, which I do like for this squad in particular, because we did see them make changes, progress already. It's just, I feel like the responses right now are really, really good. And the turnaround as well from Moose has been really good. Like the impact we mentioned, he was getting steamrolled by Bonnie on the first half, always on the site where you were ice-decking. This half, though, he's lurking, he's getting info, and they're calling off of it.
Yeah, and talking about calling off, they called off the timeout. 6 seconds is up. It's time to play. It's time to game. It's time to jump right on into this as Bones wants to be that entry. And, oh, that is a perfect drone. Lots of information. And the showstopper is actually not going to be shot off quite yet. Bones taking their time with that trigger discipline. Unfortunately, has to eventually send it off, and it doesn't find that much value, but a good read from this team. And now a pincer maneuver from Alvin Boy might be able to be enough, but one good blind scares him back.
I mean, do they know how many are hurdling towards them? Like, even if Alvin Boy gets out, the Brimstone is there too. Are they going to get a clear day? Oh, but it doesn't matter. Tanner looking for kills, finds the first, finds the second, and somehow, I mean, finally you get the trade for shot up, but at this point you've made enough noise, you've seen enough players that the rest of Burger Boys can commit to a rotate.
And here we go. Spike planted, the pick down here for shot up. Now it's going to be that 2v2 and an ultimate. Lots of utility to scare these players away from Jen. Another one down. Both of the attackers have used up all they got. Might be able to just keep it going. Arcade. Free tower. What's Bonnie up to in here? This could be the opportune moment. You just have to have the timing, a little bit of noise created, but no, the crosshair placement slightly off, and that's an execution of shot up, and that is now one away from a tied game.
Yeah, I was a little bit hesitant on using both of those ultimates to appease the pressure in spawn, so maybe saving the orbital strike for post plant there, but I mean, the speed was profound, number one. Number two, I mean, the 2 players were arcade, and I mean, they had the great timing. Like, Bonnie finds the kill on to Jonah there, and they would have been screwed, right? Yeah. So at this point, we've got to listen in to see if Landor can avoid a Burger Boys 3.
Listen in, man.
I'm gonna need if they push.
They stunned him in, and so.
Smoke deep, smoke deep.
I might have to.
Flash go.
Come back, come back.
I'm gonna stun all
Come back, come back.
They have tail ult, guys.
Yeah, try to get a good plan. I have breach ult too.
Yeah, just smoke spawn when you get here.
Try to play it close, like on the angle right here. Play right here.
Thorns.
Yo, they have no smokes.
I'm gonna hold my dish. I'm gonna hold my dish.
I opened in.
I got dish. I got dish.
You can leave one site.
Hold storm.
Oh,
Hold
they're
spawn.
table.
Hold
Jason,
spawn.
yo, hold the cross for Jason. Jiggle the cross for Jason.
I got it. I mean, I'm gonna try to
You
save
don't,
it.
you don't need to ult. Maybe ult.
Wait, one on me, I think.
That's if they use.
Matt army down, bro. Matt army down.
I have your call, Jason. Their carry's down.
Raid boss down.
Gonna go for kills.
Both
They're gonna
spawn,
go for
both
kills.
spawn,
guys.
both spawn. Looking
Oh,
for
yeah.
kills?
They're both spawn. Looking for kills.
Yeah.
Both spawn.
In the missiles, in the missiles.
Alright.
Now, wait, move on.
I'm looking for clues.
There's on the left.
One
What?
enemy
Close.
remaining.
Nice.
They have 4 ults, guys.
Alright, I took
We're
out
back.
Matt army.
Now we're gonna be tied. I mean, listen in alone, we know that this comms, we compare it to that first listen in that we had with Landor. These guys are locked in, all right? You can't just come into this thinking, I got this. No lounging anymore. We gotta sit up straight, monitors close, and now the game's closer. 9-9 here, Zobi.
Yeah, and I think what this is from the side of Burger Boys was an attempt to pick a map that's weaker for Landor, right? 13-11 against Fun Havers. It was close. And now they're struggling because of the adaptation they tried to make after the F5 esports match, right? Alvin Boy switching away from the Sentinel is wreaking havoc here, so what do? You pick up something like Operator to pass the holes, put a Sentinel aside.
Here we go. Big Rolling Thunder to trying to get aggressive. Counter Rolling Thunder to stun you back on. And now Matt is going to be absolutely stuck out by most of this util. But primary jam doesn't matter to a free gun. Classic moment here. But Bones is still in the kill feed, taking out Retro. And that's going to be another one for Bones. And Retro is here with Nanners to get these picks. And that's going to be Bonnie able to clean up
Spike
another
down,
one. Just
B.
Neptune here has to try to get the bomb as his
One
teammate
enemy
working up
remaining.
in Arcade. Has already made it back.
And Bonnie's been making this look like prime Neon sometimes.
I have the
Whenever a
spike.
player is identified, it's like target locked, dash in, find the kill, unless there's more than one like we saw A main last half.
Oh, wait.
And this was an interesting call, right? They relinquished spike control. They let it get recovered by Moose here. And I don't think they know
That's
if
a
he's
free
going
A.
A or B yet.
I mean, the thing is, though, this is the play that needed to be different. They're buddied up right now. You can't keep giving Moose their ones because this guy wins his twos more than his ones. This guy knows how to play this round out. And with that flash up setup and the high ground position, this is not going to be easy unless we see that pixel-perfect precision from Nanners and Bonnie that we have come accustomed to. So, are we going to be seeing them hit this well?
I mean, Spike's planning for drop. You got beautiful delay, double delay, because you don't expect the second layer of Thorns to be there that late after all the ultimates that we saw sprawled out on the B site, right? This is just bloody.
Blind is dead.
Arcros destroyed.
Bonnie!
Not the whiff. That was so early to swing, too.
I mean, Moose a little bit upset there, nearly taking the headphones off. I mean, this is now a time for this team to just have a deep breath. But to be honest with you, Burger Boys finally back on the scoreboard. How many did they allow Landor to take in a row?
6.
Jesus.
I mean, better late than never before you lose the lead, right? And again, that's all it takes for Burger Boys, just one round. That's how they've come back from 9-1 scores. So we'll see if they can close it out or if they'll be a victim to a comeback that's similar to what they've committed against other teams. And
Bonnie has ultimate here. Retro
they can hand off the
needs
weapon.
a gun, maybe. I think what they're going to do, Bonnie's been the first fragger. Bonnie goes in, tries to get some information, maybe even a pick, comes back out, pops ultimate, trades with Retro. This could be this play that really sets him up.
They're on
And
those opposite sides of the map.
well, they're going to make it work. We know that Bonnie, he can easily get to the other side and do a pick. Like, come on, Bonnie. This character's supposed to be nerfed.
I mean, they were nerfed not only initially, but even by the stuns, right? Double stun by that special delivery and the aftershock, and you're still able to kind of slide your way away and slip into your team smokes. The double smokes has definitely been great. Like the side smokes, this, just to keep you alive, buy you time, and unfortunately, time cannot escape death. The trade found.
Yeah, trade found out, but they've done their damage. They've taken out the smokes, the solo smokes. This team ain't got an omen here. But if they get too aggro, they need to get only information and not bullets inside of them. Wait, Moose just inching up with an outlaw. Hold up. Are they going to find any value from that? We still have a breach stuck here on the B site to defend it. And with only about 35 seconds left, it's time to get aggro. Also, shout out to Alpha Boy, still anchoring on the opposite side of the map. They're just playing this so
30
perfectly
seconds
timed.
It's the
left.
Sentinel tendencies, you know?
Yeah.
But speaking of Sentinel tendencies, Moose alone. Push a lot. Are they trying to buy out the timer here? There's only 20 seconds left.
Nanner's just swung tower.
One
They know
enemy
where Spike
remaining.
is. Now the last player is known. Neptune is stuck, and Retro
One time.
trying to rush in, and 1-2 for Neptune, but
Alvin
11 seconds.
survives, and you're
Yeah,
good to go, right? Oh, 8 seconds in this.
Oh, the Molly perfect here from Nanners, and wait.
Plant money? Wait. That
Yeah.
was 4, wasn't it?
Hasn't
Oh!
been.
Enemy remaining.
1 second.
Alvin,
thank-
stay where you are.
Thank God Alvin was on A for the entirety of this round.
Oh my gosh, like you're nasty for finding that first shot on the Nanners after they basically robbed you of the round with the incendiary. But Alvin, the smile on their face, they're like, yes, guys, I may have thrown around, but don't worry, I clutched one up for us, and an important one at that. 1 round away now from map point on their pick. And I would say 1 round away from breaking the economy for Landor. No, Landor's still like rich, bro. You won 6 in a row.
I gotta say though, this is a team with no Sentinel, was able to bully this team until time expired. That's a crazy feat here, and Burger Boy is
It was
doing it.
Bonnie. They were scared of him.
Bonnie just puts the fear of any.
He's a Bucky. This is the your overdrive round.
Oh yeah, overdrive round. I don't think Alvin Boy or Bonnie Boy Bonnie doesn't need to pop it if they have that Bucky. I'm not gonna lie.
I mean, we'll see. If you're playing retake on A, I think you might need it unless you're
Nah.
like dashing through like the doorway. But Drone not gonna spot anybody on the site, trying to clear out even the Showstopper in. I think this was coordinated. They didn't want anybody to die.
Oh my God, he walked
What?
past him. Alvin, stop doing it in this one. This time he gets it. He's not going to whiff those ones. Taking out this player. It's Moose still in the kill feed. Shutting down Alvin Boy.
No way.
And that's going to be the spike trying to get planted. Now it's just up to Nanners versus Moose. And look at this. A little bit of BM goes a long way, but will we find a pick? Will we find them to shut this down? And
Pro?
yeah. 1, 2, hold up. Wait, you're getting too aggro. Run back to site. You have to. You're forgetting that's Nanners there.
Moose just attempted a pop flash with a Vice. I mean, it worked, but they just didn't hit the shots. And that's what's giving Nanners this opportunity. But with time ticking, the incendiary still active. I mean, I'm wondering. I mean, Jonas should have the guys salvos back too, right?
Yeah,
like,
this is a guaranteed post plant, but
Yeah.
the fact that they just realized, wait a minute, we're pushing Nanners, and then had to run at Mach 8 is hilarious to me, because I think Nanners, they have enough money that they are okay with just trying to take out as many guns as possible.
And that seems to be the case, and you were on the exit route as well. I mean, you had your orbital strike up line, I think. I think there was, like, either way works, right? You save your weapon or you go for kills. It wasn't going to have a big enough impact because of how many rounds at the beginning of the half were won in succession by Landor. But both reaching double digits here, that's the major repercussion. And now at this point, to me, I need to see one hurrah, like final hurrah to get to 12 at least so you can get your overtime insurance.
Oh, if this gets tied 11-11, Burger Boys is
I'm
not
scared,
looking
yeah.
too hot there. And you have the post plant. You have the orbital to clear tower if that needs to happen. Right now, find Bonnie, kill Bonnie, take a site.
The issue is that Landor is a lot closer to a lot more ultimates than the side of Burger Boys is, right? And that's my concern. But a little can go a long way with these two ultimates for Burger Boys, and I need to see coordination between them.
Well, coordination is what we can expect here from these teams. And, you know, we did a little rival interview, and Landor said we haven't practiced much with this roster, so coordination might not be as given as you would expect from our semifinals here.
Well, Landor, again, not underestimating Burger Boys, even if they've been on a hot streak here to recover to double digits. It's still Moose kind of solo clearing out all this space, communicating any players they would hear, going for an aggressive push out. And then once they realize, okay, it's not this time side of the map that they're stacked on, that's when they exit. And I mean, that's exactly what they do. They have work there. Orbital strike clears out tower. You meet up with your team to fight the players rotating through ditch.
Moose, oh my God, Moose lives with, no, Moose doesn't live, but Bonnie gets traded out for it. And this is exactly what defense has to do. Take out Moose and have Nanners keep killing people. Nanners keep killing people. And Nanners keep killing people with, there we go, finding that pick. And now one player over in tower going to be just pushed in, but you push shot up towards you, and he's going to shoot you up with only now 2 players here to clutch this going. It's now, again, shot up's time to shine. Retro knows how to hold these angles, but it's the post plant moment. We can get it halved. You can easily get that at half and leave, but the molly, is it going to land in time? Are we going to be seeing the picks? And that's one. Jonah having to shoot through the smoke, and the bomb is defused. Barely.
That is a crazy amount of time. I mean, not only did they get the defuse, but Retro gets the cherry on top kill on to Jonah. So I talked about the pacing. I talked about how there were enough ultimates to go around for Landor to get them to that finish line. And they just utilized 2 big ones without results.
Yeah, not... Honestly, so much investment here, and you'd walk away with nothing. The typical Vegas experience. But with this gamble now, you look over, it's gonna be shot up here with only a stinger. The rest of them, some rifles, the steel cage has to come out. It has to. You cannot allow this round to go through unless you kill everybody with some crazy early aggression. But it's Bonnie's time. Fingers are out.
Yeah, I mean, they've had, like, the shotguns every round. They've been planning on using it every round. This will be the time that they have that sheer garden pop.
Looking at Bonnie with that judge. They got a lot of information. All of the temporary cooldowns now resetting. Shot up, wanting to rotate over to their team as Moose just constantly, a Moose lurking underneath the ground here. Might be able to find some players, but no one's going to be coming here from Arcade. It's going to be all about the gen play.
If you pop the sheer garden here, it'll cover all of this B side. But I feel like they want to use it for the post, right? Like when the retake is in full swing. No, here we go. Maybe. It's early, yeah. And that covers even spawn. So players get out. Maybe one gets their gun stripped away. And here comes the answer for Burger Boys. If you can even. Look at Jonah.
Spike
Jonah
planted.
able to get nanners like that. That's one of the smokes down. And unfortunately, for Bonnie's sake, no stim pack. I mean, how fast is Bonnie being able to just blitz around when that ultimate gets popped? This retake not exactly going to be easy. Burger Boys also knows money's tight right now, and they're already at match point advantage. They could try to play for this for OT if they really had to.
We saw how this postman was interrupted. That's not a big enough gap this time for you. At least you got your incendiary out. They've taken sight. They've gotten the sight smokes. And Alvin Boy with the judge this time is not going to be able to find their impact because of Bones.
Bones, that's going to be 2. And now it's just going to be tap the bomb, find it. But no, instead they find themselves 6 feet down and a 12-11 score line. This could be a guaranteed OT if we see a similar outcome.
And Bones, Stone-faced, even after a heroic 3K like that, they know the job's not done yet. They know they need one more round. But look at the buy here from the side of Burger Boys. They put everything into the last round, minus big ticket ultimates. Bonnie, if there was ever a time for the overdrive, you've been sitting on the entire half. It is now, you know, a certified neon moment, and suddenly you are up 1-0 against Landor.
The thing about it, if Bonnie pops that overdrive, everybody on this team is just going to stop moving and wait. And then it's going to be a firing squad against the neon. But it's the Bucky stun here. Oh my, 1, 2, all the chunking of the damage, and that's going to be a counter ultimate to scare them back, and it does. No, Retro just grabs them here with it. Huge play coming out from the defense, now swinging it on. Moose wants to find the trade-offs, and that's going to be Neptune to start us off, but no! Again, we finally see Bonnie pop it, but they get popped instead, and that is now Spike still down, but they're going in this with the Thrifty to prevent OT. 1, Retro, high ground, Retro, that's 3, come on, 1 more, and they get it in the Thrifty!
Defenders win.
Wow, Sheriffs and all, just the trades, the wall bangs. What a map, and what a way to close it out. You saw it, they fought together, they funneled the orb there into Retro to set up that trap play off the Armageddon. And while Bonnie maybe gets ahead of themselves with the overdrive there before it's fully procced, the team is there to have their back. The trades, and makes you wonder, should Landor have doubled down like they did? Because now they've busted.
Yeah, I mean, that is the kind of game plan, gameplay for an undefeated team. Both sides of this entire matchup. Landor here, they were stat-wise, cleanest ever, just got absolutely dirtied on. All right, we see none of that cleanliness that we wanted to see them do, and I love it. I like the change of pace here. I like that Burger Boys coming out here from all of the practice they've had at every single fun haver ever, being able to, outside of Alvin whiffing, clean up this game with style.
I mean, it shows that they're still having fun. And like you mentioned, I feel like for this team, they've always been working from a hole in the ground, right? Because it's always come back. It weighs at the mental. So, I mean, when you're up that far against a team like this, I'm hoping that confidence carries over and you try to forget about the fact that there was a 6-round comeback. Like, you almost lost the 9-3 advantage. And aside from that, I mean, we talked about the roll of difficulties, right? The adjustments that were made last minute, probably in response to Landor. And I'm hoping that Haven, it won't be the same case.
Yeah, and you know, I was thinking in my head right now, we saw a lot of Neptune, a lot of shot up, and a lot of bones here when it came to the high energy impact frags for us. But the real MVP that slips through the cracks here is the 22-13 player Moose, who with the lurks, with the consistent pressure in your backline inside of where you would not anticipate someone, that execution allowed what seemingly was not a lot of impact frags to take King over as many kills as possible.
And to me, Burger Boys, like, I don't want to necessarily say there is an MVP. Like, yes, Nanners is up there, but that was a lot of eco frags, right? And that's what made up the kill department. Impact-wise, they were all so close, right? Yeah. Alvin Boy, yes, you whiff, but playing around the smokes, playing for delay was insane, time and time again. Bonnie, we saw how many moments they had, how fundamental they were, how they consistently broke through Moose's defenses on the Vice, like every attempt.
Absolutely, and of course, we could break it down for you guys, but we have a better team for that. We got some analysts with us, joined by Keg. We're going to be sending it to their desk.
To say the very least, you know what? It could have gone either way. Fair thing to say, but to end that last round on an eco, Dave, what happened?
I have no clue what happened, honestly. Those were some incredible shots out of Retro there. Like, those are just well played to them.
Oh, yeah.
That's all I can say.
That was also Alvin Boy, just absolutely doing.
Just putting in those numbers with that bucket.
Yeah, no, getting the bucket and then also still staying there and then that was just crazy round.
It was
that
chaos.
was an insane round.
Yeah. Absolutely. I mean, chaos is the name of the game when it came to fracture between both teams, right? We saw Burger Boys not even bring a Sentinel at all, double smokes instead. Their entire goal was to push up and take fights, but Moose and Bones were like, nah, dude, we're not going to let that happen.
Yeah. I mean, that was just a crazy game. There were so many times where someone would swing out of smoke, get 2 somehow, or like when they pushed out into main, Alvin got picked and Nanners got 2 there when he Pressure only got 1. That was just a crazy game. That was a crazy, and they come back the whole time.
It was hero play after hero play,
literally.
and it was something to watch. That's for sure.
Yeah,
I'm remembering the classic right click that didn't finish.
The incident. Yeah.
The incident. That'll be the LAN incident here, but it worked out really well. I gotta ask though, you know, leading into the second map, right? You can't just rely on 2 players. I mean, you could argue maybe for Burger Boys, Utility was a very big prospect. But I want to circle back to Bones and Moose. It really felt like they were stealing the show in terms of frags, Dave.
Yeah, it really was. Bones was just putting on a show, and Moose really, like, with the amount of clutches he had and just kill opportunities, he was killing it, quite literally.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, no, I think, yeah, I mean, it was all around. I mean, Burger Boy just played great. Bonnie had a lot of really good moments where getting more than I ever thought he would. And then Matt had a good show, too. I mean, he was getting all of his trades, getting a little extra every round.
Yeah.
It's good. Just all around good for Burger Boys. Except for the 6 rounds they lost in a row.
Well, you know.
They brought it back.
Yeah, let's act like that didn't happen.
It really did feel like both teams had those long string of rounds that they couldn't end up finding anything. And though they were both on the defense, right? One team had a Senti, the other team had double smokes, which kind of acts like a Sentinel. Hopefully going in the map 2, we don't see anything like that. I think we need a more well-balanced breakfast.
I think we will, honestly, because map 2, I believe, is Haven, correct?
Yes.
Yeah, map 2 is Haven.
Yes.
I think we're going to see something much more standard to what we're used to so far in this tournament, and it's going to be pretty close again, I think.
Ooh, so if we're going to see something more standard, which team is that going to benefit more, Z?
I mean, I think Landor is going to be good at playing into pretty much anything. I mean, they've been around long enough to where I feel like they're good at adjusting game plans pretty well. As for Burger Boys, I feel like that might be a little bit more the difficulty. But both teams play Haven a lot. I don't think there's really anything that's going to catch either team off guard. especially since they're both fun haver veterans.
Right.
They play every week.
They're
you
used
know?
to having fun.
No, they're used to seeing every comp in the universe, from bad teams to good teams.
Painfully true. But I mean, to be fair though, Burger Boys started off really, really hot too over Landor, and I think that caught a lot of people by surprise.
No, I mean, we both predicted
Yeah.
Landor to go. Now, I will say that if this momentum carries and they secure, they don't drop 6 rounds in a row in the middle of the map, I think this could be a Burger Boys 2-0. You know what I mean?
Well, you were so confident it was gonna be a 3-mapper.
Well, I said Fracture's the decider. So, but the way Burger Boys are playing, I haven't seen them play like this in a while.
Okay.
They're just playing full confidence.
Were you also a 3-mapper?
I still think it's gonna be map 3.
Okay.
I'm shifting a little bit towards the Burger Boy side. 'Cause I mean, when you're IGL shooting like that, like life just gets easy.
Right.
Well,
so that was really putting up numbers.
Yeah.
What's
that's
the
what I'm
key
saying.
to success here for Landor?
Honestly, I think trying to keep the mentals up, not get it like too hard on them that they lost the first map.
Did you see Moose? He was slouched back in there. He was as comfortable as could be, man.
A lot of their mistakes were kind of like minor mistakes that ended up compounding, I feel like.
Right.
Like that one round where it was like that 2v1, Moose played it literally perfectly, just happened to whiff on Bonnie in the corner. Like, that's a free round win for him.
Right.
But literally, perfect util, popped at the right time. Like, wow. And those moments you can't really do anything about. So I feel like if they have less of those unlucky moments, this map, I don't see them having
Well,
much
that's
of an issue.
the VCT injection too. You had those proper timings. You had that great utility usage. That's something that you use to elevate your team so much. And yet, Burger Boys, and I can't stress this enough, lost. Well, they won, but they won that last round of map 1 off of a pure eco round. Like, that's still gotta hurt, man.
I feel like me personally, that would leave such a bad mark on me going into the next
Well,
map.
that's why I said I'm not sure if Landor can. It's gonna be lots to overcome. I mean, I feel like both teams are really confident on Haven, and maybe Landor is less confident on Fracture than Burger Boys, or vice versa. But I think Haven, like, they're both full confident in their game plan. So.
Well, look, if I'm Burger Boys, I'm feeling really confident right now. I'm so confident that I'm stepping away from the desk and I have a small interview with Alvin Boy and Zobi.
Alrighty, my name is Zobi and I'm joined by Alvin Boy from the Burger Boys themselves. So you just came out of your round of 16 victory against YDZ Infinity, so congrats on that, and you're about to face off against Northwood. So let's talk about round of 16 first. You told me it was a bit of a nail biter.
It
Two
was.
comebacks from 3-9 and 7-11 to both 13-11s. How has it affected the mental so far? How are you feeling going into quarterfinals?
Honestly, when we were down those rounds, I think it was 3-9 in the first map. I really wasn't that worried for some strange reason. I just knew my team would have me, and honestly, they did. We got carried by Nanner's first map, and then we got carried by Boney and Rhett on the second.
Your time to carry then, this next series?
I hope so.
All right, and earlier in an interview with Vix from Northwood, they kind of defined themselves as challenger slayers because Vix has competed, they've gone through that process before. They just beat Prosperity, who qualified to challengers, and now you are a challengers level team. How does that make you feel, and anyone you fear over on the Northwood squad?
Well, honestly, they are just 4/5 of a challengers team plus Vic, so I don't know what he's saying there, but honestly, I think they are pretty solid contenders, and I'm a little worried about this match, but I'm confident we can pull through, and yeah.
All right, well, I don't want to keep you from your team in preparation any longer, so thank you so much and good luck today.
Thank you.
Momentum just keeps going. In fact, that's probably the biggest strength that we saw both teams have going into map 1. Fracture won by a hair, a razor thin hair. Look, if your hair's that thin, you just shave it off at that point. But my name is Kag. I'm joined once again by Zeke and Dave. We have amazing teams happening right now. It's Burger Boys of VCL versus Landor of VCL and VCT Prestige. Zeke, Haven. It's a map as old as my grandma. We've all played it so long. It's not Fracture. Can we still see a map 3?
I think it's possible to see a map 3. I feel like Burger Boys is pretty confident going into this map.
Yes.
Both teams are already confident on the map as the game plan, like I said before. I do think we could see a map 3, but I'm kind of getting convinced that Burger Boys could take it home on this one.
You've been harder to convince.
I have been a bit harder to convince. I mean, the momentum that we've seen from Burger Boys, it's hard to like not see it. But at the same time, Landor's stats prove otherwise. Their Haven is incredible.
I mean, surely you know how Burger Boys play at this point. You can dial back, not go for some, maybe a little overheating theatrics a bit from their side, and avoid retro on the Sheriff. That should be enough to win, right?
It might just give them like a better idea of how to play safer ecos in general.
Yeah.
But at the same time, it's hard to stop momentum. Like
That's what I'm saying.
Seen the name.
We did see a lot of ecos on in that game, which is hard. I don't know who had more thrifties. I'd be curious to find out. But I feel like Burger Boys thrifted them quite a bit when they had that little stretch. It was an eco I think they won, and they obviously won the game on an eco.
Yeah.
So I mean, those matter. Those are probably the most important rounds of the game.
And yeah, those are so important. I think those are just even more winnable when you have double controller. You can just close the gaps between those rifles so fast.
Yeah.
So what is the path to success for Landor then if we want to see map 3?
I think definitely at least win the pistol.
Okay.
And that'll hopefully get a big shift in momentum towards them.
Yeah, I think, I mean, obviously pistol most important round in the game.
Of course.
Statistically, of course. But, you know, I think Landor's individuals do a really good job of playing and throwing good util and doing everything right. I think it's just, Burger Boys had a lot of hero plays.
Yes.
And I think Haven's a little harder to have some of those hero plays, per se.
Yeah.
I think it's a little more advantageous for the team play aspect of it. So.
Yes, I do think Burger Boys played the map a little bit better than Landor, at least in terms of the defense. I think this could be a big strength for Burger Boys going into Haven 2, where they may not overheat or rotate a lot more, and they might be able to stretch themselves more thin to allow more defense wins.
Yeah, that definitely could happen. I'm not sure how their rotates have looked in the past on the map, but I know it's going to be hard to not over-rotate with some of their fakes.
Yes, that's true. They've been pretty good fakers so far, but speaking of fakers, are we going to see, well, we're not going to see the real faker. Are we going to see Yoru?
We might.
I wish I would have looked during the downtime of what comps have been played by both teams in the past. Because I haven't watched Landor. I haven't got a chance to watch more of Landor because they're playing in Fun Havers.
Yeah.
And where I see Burger Boys and Challengers, you know, every week.
Oh, yeah.
I believe Bonnie does play Yoru.
I mean, Bonnie definitely does play
Yoru. I'm pretty sure he's played it in their Challengers matches.
Ooh.
So.
Yeah.
Now, there was one thing I did look up in between matches, too, and I have my trusty device here. 34 series wins in a row. I'm not a very good counter. Maybe 33, maybe 35, maybe even 40. But that's so many series won by Landor in a row.
That's what I was talking about before, where they just kind of show up and dominate every Fun Haver.
They do. And very rarely do they go to a map 3 doing it. The last major loss they've had was unfortunately not making it in the Challengers. And of course, you know, you could say they redeemed themselves by winning 35 series in a row after. But maybe this is the moment they can truly redeem themselves.
I mean, keeping up that streak is definitely, it's something. It says it for itself.
Oh, yeah.
I think, yeah, I mean, obviously they've been dominant. I think when they lost your premiere, 2 weeks ago?
Yeah, I believe 2 weeks ago.
Break, yeah, so 2 weeks ago, I think that probably hit them pretty hard. And so maybe it's like, you know, time to lock in. Because I feel like when you're one of those players that's coming down from, you know, an upper league, like VCT, you know, you're back down to tier 3, you know, it's
a very different environment.
Yeah. And so I think a lot of times you kind of expect to get just the free wins. Right. But now I think they realize they got to lock in and really earn those.
It is a different environment, too. I think this is Landor's first LAN together as well.
That would be probably.
Yeah, I believe so.
I'm sure they've all played together at some point, you know, over the years.
Yeah. But very different chemistry hold, and you know, playing on LAN, it definitely changes the chemistry a lot than online.
Right. We've never played on LAN before, and things are a little different.
Yeah.
Oh boy.
But I mean, it's definitely fun as a team to experience. So I'd imagine Landor's, they're getting through it.
Well, and, you know, I think the VCT stage I'd wager is a little harder than the.
Definitely.
You know, I mean, from the games we've seen so far, they feel like VCT level sometimes from the difficulty. But here we are. We have Landor walking down now. Give themselves a time to recoup, think about things, not get 3K sheriffed. It's just a matter of now of wondering how things are going to go into map number 2. Zeke, I'll give you one last chance to say that we go to map 3.
You know what? I think we could go to map 3, but also, you know, actually, I'd like to see go map 3 because I think Blue Waters played Burger Boys probably like 5 to 7 times.
Yeah.
But Blue Water and Burger Boys have played a lot in Fun Ever.
Definitely.
And so it'd be kind of boring if we just get a same old rematch, but Landor, a little mix-up, could be fun.
It would be very fun to watch.
Absolutely. I'm going to throw you the percentage again, though, Dave. Do you think, what are the chances of map 3?
I'd say,
you're the numbers
honestly,
guy.
probably like a 40%.
40%. That was one of my grades in high school. Oh yes, that's why I'm here.
I'd like for a map 3, but with the amount of just speed that Burger Boys is playing at, I don't know if it's gonna be possible to stop that.
All right, we're just about ready to send it over to the casters. One final point, Zeke. What do you have?
Oh.
What's gonna happen?
I think.
Life advice.
I'm gonna call it. 13-7 Burger Boys.
13-7. Wow. I'm gonna say it's gonna be pretty close. 14-12.
14-12 OT. This will be our first OT today.
Oh, it will be. Yeah. I think, like we were saying earlier, Haven almost always goes to OT. Haven's such a long map.
That's true.
That's a hard map too. It's a very
It's the best map to cast. All right, Edu, Zobi, I'm very excited to see if we do go to that map 3. Haven's a very different map from Fracture. There's a lot of different lanes and truncated lanes at the same time. Plenty of fakes and rotates, but there's nothing fake about the performances we're about to see from these teams. Edu, Zobi, take it away.
Thanks, Keg. Honestly, when we do look at these two teams, your question of are we going to see that map 3 is in our minds, in the arena's mind. Now, I did talk to some of the players here. I even talked to you know, the people that unfortunately aren't making it to the finals, YDZ X Berserkers. I asked them, who do you think is going to take it? And you know, they genuinely think Landor is going to be able to bring it back and reverse sweep this. So, do you agree?
Ooh, I believe like in the official predictions that we submitted as talent, I said Landor, but like Burger Boys knows that like we have a history of like if I pred for them, they lose now, and if I pred against them, they win.
Yeah.
Because they earned me as a fan like when I was doing VCL watch party.
Yeah. The one thing.
So it's like heart Burger Boys, mind Landor,
Yeah.
and that's the vibe.
You know, the thing is, I have managed to convince Tim that the caster curse is real, because when he wants to go to bed, I say, no, we're doing this qualifier until 1, because I said, hey, I think this might be a 2-0. And then we're there for 4 hours. So, honestly, I don't think that when it comes down to this matchup, we aren't going to be seeing this get to 1-1. Landor just got I would say a rude awakening here for losing their first map on stage.
I don't know. I'm feeling like there's two possibilities here. It's either a Burger Boys 2-0 in another really close double-digits match, or for some reason, Landor is going to stomp, and then map 3 is going to be who knows what, because it's a map like Icebox, which feels like a really strong map for Burger Boys, but it's not one that Landor's avoided either.
Yeah, and one thing I do want to see more of is Moose's aggression. I need to see it. I want to see them picks. Honestly, when I think of Moose and how many times this guy has absolutely fragged out being that lurking sentinel, I gotta hide it.
Well, guess what? They're not lurking sentinel on this map.
Aw, okay.
They're clove. So they're
Oh, that's even better.
aggressive, yeah.
That's even better. I don't want you to lurk. Just hold W and click on people.
And I mean, it's not even just that you're picking up a clove, and if they could switch to Nomen, but that's what they've been playing as the clove. They have an ISO Yoru on top of that. So it's like you have like 3 strikes and you're out in terms of who can be your entry player.
Yeah, and, we are on Haven, of course. So if you are a Initiator player on this map, you're happy. This is my favorite map to play Initiator. If I want to play Sentinel or Smokes, I go on Icebox, right? Or I go on Fracture for Sentinel. But this map of a Haven, you get to call the shots. You get to blind your team in. You got to be able to get everything done. And that's what I want to be seeing. So we had a little bit of, discrepancies between top and bottom here for Landor. Jonah. I want to see Jonah be able to pop off. I need to be able to see how these initiators are really just pushing this team through. And to be honest with you, everyone here knows how good this roster can get.
And I do think that it's possible for this map that Jonah can step up, because we kind of looked at this and talked about this with the last semifinals where Queen Bob, she did great on both maps, but she was really passive on Mateo and not as kill heavy.
Yeah.
And then she got onto the Sova on Ascent and it was like,
well, Sova on Ascent, that is a comfort pick, even though
even on Haven though.
I mean, Haven for Sova, yeah, definitely.
We saw Bowie like an insane anchor on A as Sova.
Anything that Sova was like, oh, it's a no-brainer, pick it, Taeho has taken over. I mean, except for Abyss, which now isn't even in the map pool, it's just Taeho left. When you have a solid playstyle here from the initiators, Sova definitely gives you the good old-fashioned, but to be honest with you, Taeho is just fresh and fun.
Well, we said before that Haven is not one map that's been played by Burger Boys. I don't think it's one that's been avoided. Again, it's that map you have to know how to play, because if it's not banned, a team picks it because it's the safe bet.
Right.
And I think you might be right here, because Retro, I'm going to say, they like playing Taeho a lot more than the Sova. Like, every map that they can, they're picking up the Taeho on. I think Icebox is the only map they haven't opted in for it over the Sova. So I'm curious to see if that's going to be the same for Haven, right? We saw Taeho earlier, like, in place of Sova on important maps like Ascent. And I'm curious to see if it's going to have similar impact, right? In terms of, like, yes, you have a drone, but it's not consistently regenerating information. And I think that affected how they played in terms of, like, you have to get contact in order to get that information.
True. The thing about the drone, though, is, it suppresses. And that's just so...
Oh, for sure.
It's slept on. And not only does it suppress, but when you do activate it, how many times were we watching that Ascent round, right? For White Easy Berserkers, they send in that drone, and they spot out only one. They trigger the drone, and all of a sudden it spots the thing that they didn't get to see with the actual camera eyes. It gives you so much more availability to get that information. But Sova, Taeho, they got their differences. We are hopefully going to be seeing maybe a little something different here.
Alvin Boy back on the Cypher, probably.
Alvin Boy not on the double controller here. We're not going to be seeing as much fun inside of it. But with Alvin Boy's Cypher, you put up a cage, he's going to walk into it, somehow manage to get past your peripheral vision and whiff a couple shots. It's going to be great.
It's so hard to call because, again, what we've seen, the Owen maps typically go to Alvin Boy, and then Matt plays the Vice.
Yeah.
But when it's a Killjoy or a Cypher, Alvin does it. So then is Matt gonna debut? Like, it just like feels like this map also has some role mismatch for this squad. I'm guessing it's gonna be Nanners on the breach.
Yeah.
If they go standard, right? Retro, either Sova or Taeho. All right. I don't know which one. I'm completely honest with you. Bonnie, I could see a Neon. I could see a Jet.
I think Yoru probably might be. I mean, we
Just
don't really
solo
see
Yoru,
it.
though?
I mean, solo.
Wait, Nanners plays ISO. We saw that. We casted that.
Yeah, we can do that, but
ISO Yoru again, maybe.
ISO Yoru. I mean, also Waylay. We're not going to see it, but I really want it on Haven. I really do, especially considering all these long angles where if you just, hey, look, I'm Waylay. I'm just going to be Jet plus Phoenix plus free information. I teleport back to site. It's just so good for if you have a team that lacks information, and if you're not running the Sova, that could be really solid if you swap them out. So there's a lot of big ifs here, but I think a lot of Burger Boys' plan is this is what we've really practiced here. But when it comes to practice on Haven, everybody's Haven's a little bit different right now.
Oh, for sure. And I mean, I think like the number of fun havers they played, and they definitely like play Haven, right?
Yeah.
It's just for this event, you never know what they're going to change and swap up on the LAN environment. Again, it depends on how you're feeling that day. And I'll say it, Bunny was frying on the Neon, so I can see them doing some trickery plays.
You want a Neon on Haven, like it's a day one release of Neon?
Yeah. Or I guess, yeah. And aside from that, what else could be sped? Bonnie did meme Awele on Ascent the one time they played it as well.
Yeah.
So I'm not going to say it's impossible, but that was also in the first round of the group stage. So they're like, it's going to be the easiest matchup we get to play.
Yeah. It's not quite, the easiest of maps to get into, but when we are going to be looking into the minds of these players and finding out what kind of strategies they might be bringing out, what kind of team synergies they do have, we might want to just ask them ourselves, which we have. So we have an interview here with Bones, I believe. So let's cut to that.
Joined
by Boyz from Landor to get a little insight on the team before they compete in the HyperX Momentum series. So first and foremost, where does the team name Landor actually come from?
The team name Landor actually comes from our owner's pet dog, and their name is actually Landor.
What kind of dog?
I have no idea, to be honest, but I think I've seen it, but I don't know what the breed is.
What color?
It's a white dog. It's a white, like, fluffy dog.
Fluffy. That's all
Maybe
we
a
need to know.
Pomeranian.
Perfect. Perfect. All right. And I know Landor is like craft players, kind of in a pug style environment. So how intensive has your preparation and practice been for this LAN? If any.
Our preparation has been like, we've been extremely hard on ourselves, you know? We've been practicing really hard to win this LAN, and, you know, we just hope that hard work pays off. Because we really put our blood, sweat, and tears to win this LAN.
Oh, okay. We'll see it on the stage, I'm sure. And then for you personally, is this your first time competing at a LAN?
This is my third time.
Okay, what were the other two LANs and how did those go?
The first one was at Fullerton, California, and then the second was NSG Philly. And I think the first couple LANs for me, like, it didn't end well, but I think it really built up my experience for this one. So I hope I can show that in this LAN. Perfect.
And I know Landor did try to compete for VCL qualification, went out a little bit earlier in the open qualifier round of 16. Is there a future for Landor competing again to try and get back to Tier 2?
Yeah, there definitely is a future for Landor to compete. Maybe we're gonna have to wait a little bit longer, but I think next time we won't let it slip from us.
Okay. And then what are your goals and as a team for this LAN? I know you said for you it's just building experience into success, but
our goals for this LAN, I think, is obviously to win, but I think it's just to have fun and just play together as a team and just have a good time and also try to win. But main thing is we just like have fun, I think.
All right, and the last question is, who do you think your biggest opponent is then on that path to victory?
I think our biggest opponent on our path to victory is probably QOR.
All right.
They're looking solid.
There we go. You heard it here first from Boyz of Landor. Good luck in the event.
Thank you.
And with that, I gotta say, they better bring their mascot next time they come to a LAN. I gotta meet this dog that Landor is named after. But aside from that, Bones feels confident. I feel like they've always been with this kind of squad, right? And it was like Moose was this later pickup, and they're integrating them to the squad. I want to ask Moose after, like, do you plan to stay with this squad, right?
Yeah.
I know they played in the Challengers qualifiers, but I think it was with a slightly different roster, and they went out kind of early as well. So this feels like redemption.
Yeah, and you know, it's funny that you say Moose now joining up on the squad. Way back in the day when I first started casting, well, not really first, but if you guys remember MCT Premiership, that old event, right? Moose was still a franchise player and actually had a guest appearance on that matchup there. So the first time I got to cast Moose was all the way back in, what was like, 2022, 2023? And now seeing him back here at the LAN, very excited to see the gameplay that they're going to be able to pull through with. Honestly, everyone in this arena has kind of lent themselves their opinions on how much they have to keep in mind Moose's gameplay, right? Now that we're coming down to our last three teams here, I mean, I gotta see it. I gotta see the players that I have fallen in love with while watching the qualifiers, and I have to see more and more of this gameplay. So if it's a 2-0 for both semifinals, how close do you think the finals is gonna be?
Ooh, Blue Water versus one of these two teams. I don't know. Blue Water feels like they're on a tear, right?
Yeah.
Like just getting eliminated from playoffs and challengers. You know, they're the like last playoffs team for challengers remaining, right? Because Burger Boyz didn't go relegate. They're still in the league, but they didn't make it this deep run. And aside from that, it's definitely like hard to say what exactly we can expect from these two
it's
teams.
Nanners.
Nanners is like, I'm on screen, oh my gosh. And that's the only thing you get from a LAN environment, right?
Yeah, you get to be on camera, you get to be here, you get to be just in front of, honestly, the LAN environment, it's not just about being on stage. It's about after you get off stage, getting one, fist bumped by Sexy Christian after you do your walkout, and of course, being able to just network and have fun with everybody here. I mean, personally, I got to meet a lot of amazing talent that, you know, a lot of the time we get our ideas of people based on what they say on Twitter in esports. And it's nice to not have to do that today.
And two things for me. One, I was vibing to the walkout music. We were dancing on the desk before cams and then got all serious. And I've seen players doing the same thing down there. And then I completely agree with you. Meeting the players is the best part, right? You see these names and you're like, wonder what they look like. And then you get to see. And I was literally, we had like all our headshots and I was like just trying to memorize these headshots essentially.
Yeah.
So that I could remember what these players look like. And also remember like players that have been at both lands, right? You met some of them back in Dallas and you're like, I've met you before, haven't I? And you're like, yeah, blah, blah, blah. And you're like, oh, yeah, we follow each other.
Yeah, it's really nice to see. But, you know, talking about putting names to faces like we have, as a caster, I get to put names to faces of agents here. So let's get into Agent Select. Let's find out where we're going to be locking this in. And to be honest, when I think of half the players I meet, I still just like have an overlay of what agent they lock in most of the time. Even with my own team, if I ever see them playing something else, I just assume that it's a different person.
And with this agent select, I'd say our research is pretty good. I think we got like an 85 to 90% on the test, right?
The Alvin Boy, though, that's
was interesting because I said like Omen maps typically go to Alvin Boy, but they're also the Sentinel player for KJ and Cypher. It's the Vice that goes to Matt. So seeing Matt on the Cypher, Alvin Boy on the Omen, I mean, they were playing like they were an Omen main from day one, like they were over on Fracture. So I think this is better for, again, matching the vibes of the day. And we were right on the Tejo call for Retro. They prefer it over the Sova.
Yeah, and now getting this locked in, locked out, it's time to see more from these players. We talked about what duelists we wanted to be seeing. ISO is online and somehow managing to survive. That is the power. That's the power of it. Almost got immediately taken out here. It's the Yoru and ISO combo that I think is really going to be giving us the most flashy plays for Twitter. And then we also have, of course, the Cloak.
But they're keeping them apart right now, right? It's ISO lurking Bones, right? And the rest were trying to apply pressure to the C site, right? They destroyed some of the Cypher utility off the Sova, and they forced a rotation as well. But now if they head back towards the A site, because Bones was paying so low off of those Guided Salvos, they didn't feel confident enough to push forward and make some space on their own. So, I don't know what exactly they've been able to do.
Yeah, well, it's now time to show what you can do. You're the low player. You got to go first. You know, you are the sacrificial lamb for this A site take. And now, Bonnie, not on the Neon. Boom, one headshot here. One there, and that's Bonnie. Triple killing it up, and now it's time to find the final two.
Doesn't need to Neon slide into a shot. The tailwind active right after it speaks volumes here. Pistol Demon and now
one enemy remaining.
Shut them down,
Last player standing.
Okay,
No
Matt.
way.
Oh,
About
the
to say.
stage. Did you hear that stage eruption here? I mean, that's the kind of play that we need to be seeing here. And funny story, it's going to actually be a solid pickup for this team that they need more like that. They need more rounds like this. And Burger Boys, people say they're the underdogs. The gameplay I'm looking is the top dog.
For sure, and I think partially that big celebration is because, right, they've been historically in the playoffs so far, being that team that starts down 0-4. like they're getting the first round here. It's like, oh my god, we can let out a sigh of relief. We don't have to worry about getting the first. And look at this buy-up. Ghost, so Matt's gonna go Vandal probably. You have two sniper rifles, and Bonnie with that three-piece forcing a rifle. They don't just want to get their, they want to decimate in the next.
See it. Matt, readied up. They love playing in these smokes, and they're going to find that headshot. Matt with one, Alvin Boy with two. Might be able to find a third, but execution is going to be a very fast round here. What a play.
And that's when baiting your teammates is, you know, defendable. Like, you're low HP, you have a Ghost, they have, I think it was a sniper rifle or a worse weapon. So when they're coming in to swing off of you, you make that contact, and you are good to go. They keep a lot of weapons online. And like I mentioned, Matt, you're going to go for the Vandal. I was expecting you to. Are you not?
Maybe. But here we are now, round number 3. We're going to be taking a look at this aggressive side. I need to be seeing Landor getting these comms.
I'm going to dirty short to blue flash. You took that, you took that.
They didn't push him.
Let's go B. Make sure everything out loud. Go B, go B.
You have a line back? Can you learn about one of the sides?
Yeah, I'm going to grab it. Oh, he's not dead still. Perfect trip. My flag, guys, my flag. Can you give me the bomb? Get in, guys. Yeah. Don't me bomb. I'm gonna drone to J-Link, guys. I'm droning to J-Link. Nice. I'm droning to J-Link.
He's in the smoke.
Yeah, he ran with through. 2. He's ran in.
He's in. Two.
I'm like, I have one shock. I'm gonna try. It's okay, Link. Can we double hold this? Come
I don't have a smoke for 15. There's 3, I think.
Dash in. I'm playing bomb now. 2 A-Link.
Vulnerable. One more, like, C-Link.
Thanks.
Nice.
You scanning ahead.
All right, and so damage gets done, but it's not as, I feel like, rambunctious as I thought it was going to be favoring Burger Boys, right? You have 2 rifles, one carried over, one bought up from Matt, who went and opted for the pistol in the second round buy-up. And I think they even might have forced a Guardian there. Like, they bought up a little risky, and now, I mean, the repercussion is like a regen shield, maybe a little bit less utility, and we'll see if it hurts them when it gets down to the business where both teams are at equal footing.
And the equal footing has to come down to the rifles, has to also come down to some of these ults. If Matt is able to find an opening pick or find the body of one with Bonnie getting the first one, that's an ultimate on the board. But let's see it with another pickup here for Bonnie, but this time executed. But it's the Crossfire Retro being able to keep those trades up, and now up a whole person is Burger Boys.
Ooh, Jonah, though, 1 off from Hunter's Fury. Already, it would be Nanners to give it to him, whether in life or death here, possibly the first form of contact. Could even maybe send a recon bolt here and then make the rotation towards the seaside. Looks to be what they could opt in for here. I mean, I haven't learned that there's no Cypher util on the mouth of the seaside just yet. Like, there's been most rounds the util split. And there it is. The dart, I think it didn't lane where intended, but look at this, right? Buddy system. Start clearing out A long, hand in hand. And this is what we like from Burger Boys, that they do this so often because they don't want to give away anything.
Yeah, and of course you need this advantage if you don't want to go to map 3. Icebox is not exactly a vacation destination for either of these two teams, and now, talk about going on a vacation. This is a long lurk coming around over towards long.
And I don't think Landor is expecting this, right? Turret towards garage. You're not going to spawn anything. You've got to have the Spidey senses tingling as you make your way down long. The timing just falls short from an absolute surprise. The aftershock, the trade should follow suit there. You'll fully stop, just swing, and Nanners does.
Wow.
3-piece, 4-piece shut down. Just like that, Burger Boys back on the up and up again.
Back on the up and up now, 3-1. This is a very similar stat line that we saw on their climb to that 9-3. Now, the switch of the sides on Fracture definitely did impact them to the point where it was nearly overtime. Haven's not going to be the same way. This is a team that has played this map probably in a tournament setting here more than anybody else. So I'm not really that terrified of this half switch like I was on Fracture. But here, Landor, they have to make a recovery here. And with the buys coming up, ults online.
Not even that, but look, they're about to go pop aggressive even after they just won that round. Bonnie, the entire team behind them, about to push towards window. Paranoia getting set from Alvin Boy as well, so it's just going to be a normal peak, when in reality, it is Bonnie's Blade Storm and Alvin up one. And the distraction, no way!
Oh, uncharacteristic whiffs here coming out, but it's another flank from Retro, and it's not going to be able to find too much. I mean, an attempt at a wall bang, but right now it's all about the re-hit, re-swing. And with Matt, hopefully going to be able to join them. All 3 clumped up and might be able to just get their value, but Spike's planted.
At this point, you know there's at least 2 plans, right? You saw the cage, you saw the drone breach. Not there now, you know they're there with the flash on to Moose. So this should be every player now staring down this angle. And it doesn't matter if you're looking at them, you are getting pushed out, you are getting one. But Moose not dead yet. This miss good. The target swap, though, and the distraction. So that shot up can finish the kill.
Landor already starting up a little bit stronger here on Haven. Their attack, definitely what I wanted to see a little bit earlier on into our first game. But to be honest with you, Landor now is in a position to just rob all of Burger Boys from their economy. They are going to just take the bank with them. And unfortunately, Burger Boys has to go with the Thrifty, but that's how they want Fracture. So
yeah, I mean, steal the economy, steal the momentum. The only thing I do see is, number one, because the Blade Storm was used last round, it's not available. Nanners is also 1 off from the Rolling Thunder here. So there is a world where we see a conversion. And I think that's why the Cypher's playing so far off of C. They want to use it as, okay, Nanners, if you get a kill from CT alongside the Cypher, let the old ref, we can flood back in, because the entire team is leaning towards attacking that.
Oh, big.
Nanners, what are you doing? Why they're actually
it's
in.
You and me. Oh, big ISO ult taking out Alvin Boy. But who wins this? This is the real question here. And the answer is going to be Whiff City. Oh my God, Bones finally finding it. Nearly getting taken out by a pistol within your own ult. But now it's an ultimate, so it acts like nothing just happened.
You gotta be shaken, and just the sheer length of that fight as well. Look at the minimap. There was zero movement from anybody on Landor. They needed that pick to go their way, and they were also probably confused why it grabbed an Omen and not another player. And they are not convinced that there isn't like an eco stack on this site. So they're probably waiting for the next cycling of utility for Jonah would be my guess, or yeah, you contact up.
Yeah, no gate crash though, so Neptune is going to have to take this site inch by inch, slowly pushing up, and Bonnie just going to be absolutely dominant, and that's going to be a Hunter's Fury pop, but will we find the successful conversion? Yes, that's another one down, and it's just going to be up to Bonnie on site, and it's done. Now, Retro in a 1v4, has to do as much damage as possible, needs to be guaranteed to walk away from this round with their ultimate.
Planted.
And I mean, even if you died, you would have gotten that ult online, but they want to live. They want to try to clutch this out. Power friendship, 1, 2, 3, swing.
That was so smart.
And the round is salvaged by Landor. Now, if you're Burger Boys, yes, you lost the lead. Yes, you're tied here. But you got 2 ults online. You took 2 ults on an eco round away from Landor. And, I mean, you need a confident ISO, and I think that confidence can't be swimming after Alvin Boy and their antics in that gulag.
Yeah, lots of ultimates on the board. You can see all of the little icons getting ready for this defensive team to probably just set up for a very potent retake. Now, if you are Landor, recognizing they got 4 ultimates, A site's the retake site, we got to go anywhere but there right now. And might be seeing the first mid to B push that we've seen so far.
We saw it on the rifle round for Landor.
Oh, you're right, you're right. During
But it was uncharacteristic, you know,
Yeah.
like, you know the other team's bonusing, but they still pulled it out. And from here, a little bit slower of an approach, again, from Landor. Not, you know, certain if they pushed up off the guided salvos here. So re-clear it.
On cooldown.
And claim the space.
Yeah, Burger Boys had the exact same idea I did with them stacking B, anticipating that no one wants to push A against our retake util, but apparently Landor calls the bluff, and I don't see this being in their favor. They still have to find these picks.
Well, they've done this before, right? Remember when Bones got pinged down to Super Low 2 but stayed over towards A? They did it again. That's their default. They set up a duelist or 2, deposit a day. They make noise towards an alternative site, and then they still end there. So the goal is that these lurk players that have been like developed, like shot up, like Lucian will be able to find kills. But it hinges on your duelist being able to get on the day as well before players fall that are lurking.
Yeah, that's the problem with the 3-side map, though. When you split up like that, it's a lot easier to get taken out because of these 1v1 angles, and Bonnie wins those. So now Neptune has to re-hit this to make more noise on A. C-site still has that anchoring Cypher, and soon joined by a Jet. And hello!
No.
Nice util. Alvin Boy is gone, trying to get their ultimate to rotate, and 20 seconds is remaining. The bomb has to get on to A. Can we see that spike site planted?
I mean, Neptune walked onto this site. He's now towards CT. The Armageddon not even on the default plan, so Jonah should be set here. No way to counter. The lurk from Moose has paid off. This is suddenly starting to dip towards Landor's way, but it's still a 3v2. Someone has to be heroic, and Neptune is trying to.
You gotta be a hero, managing to not get hit by the Rolling Thunder. They have no idea. Turn around. The trigger discipline allows Neptune to get one, but now Neptune's all alone. He's given up the spot, and the blind is perfect. Now a 1v1 against Bonnie. Neptune versus Bonnie to end it, but the spike still tapping away. It's time to try to fake a gate crash, but no, it's about the aim. You can't fake it out, but you can surely shoot him in the face.
And I am in utter awe, right? Like, that was played so well by Burger Boys, but again, they invested so many ultimates. Small mistakes slipped through, like Alvin Boy getting caught in the smoke, ulting from an unsafe position, not clearing a corner after you rolling under the site. Like, those are things that cannot be happening against a tenured squad like this. I mean, they shut down all the development work that Landor had done. Like, yes, Moose finds one, but gets traded. Shot up Slurk also shut down. They had full information of what Landor was doing up until the play succeeded.
Let's see this new round. Burger Boys losing their lead, losing their money, but not losing Alvin Boy. Unfortunately, he's going to only be good for one, and that is a lot of trades here. Matt wanting to go for this lurk. The bot cutting him off, and Retro has the timing, and unfortunately, Bonnie does not.
Right?
Just buying time, but Retro not focused together with this team. It's a little bit disconjointed, and now Matt gave up the position long and has to manage to get at least a pick here.
Yeah, that Cypher Cam kind of gives away that you push down C long, right? So, I mean, they're just going to wait. They don't need to solo swing this. They just need to bait until their teammates can pinch between grass and C long. But Bones went alone here, so this is an opportunity to win your 1v1, and unfortunately, the shots do not align. The kill does not follow, and it is Landor to reach 5 rounds here now on the defensive half. Now, Edu,
Yes.
look at the ults.
Yes.
This is Landor in a beautiful position. Money, you know, power. Oh, they should be able to secure a 6, if not more. And Burger Boys, low-key, this is where I would have taken a proactive timeout.
Yeah, a proactive timeout possibly, but the thing is right now, they still have that momentum of last game. Any little timeout here might actually benefit Landor, so I think the
4 rounds in a row, you need to stop this.
I would think so, but the problem is also this is their buy, and it's the difference in what they're doing in between the round. They're saying pull out the Odin, right? Like this is a thing where you don't really want them to start thinking about, okay, what could be the counterplay, and let them calculate this out.
But what does the Odin punish that Landor's been doing? Because it's on A, and Cyclops has to play A. So
It is a hard counter to an ISO.
Well,
not to a Yoru, though. That is a crazy
and
pickup.
that's the issue with change too many things. Keep Cyclops on the C, so he's fighting him. With Alvin,
How many times is Alvin going to just slide through? Luckily, he gets picked off, but that is Nanners able to be good for 1. Now needing to be good enough to really level the playing field here for Asobi, as an ultimate popped right onto site, and if Nanners can just hold their own, do some damage, they should be fine, but Bones is going to have that armor, and that is the attacker trying their best. And Retro has to break it, he can't break it! He just tried so hard and nothing happened.
I mean, the panic sets in. You know there's a player on the opposite side of the Radiant Knight box on default. Like, you were out of options there, and desperation was calling. But so is a Landor lead. 1 round off from that guarantee at the half. They utilized half the ults there to get the job done. They have the rest to try and secure it. It's another eco round for Burger Boys. And again, I mean,
now this
questioning, where's the Barracoon timeout?
I mean, at this point, when it comes down to it, I think at the end of the day, this is a team that just knows, I want to play. I want to keep on trying. And might not be the strat, but I mean, I think it, but
it's you and me.
Oh, Retro versus a double tapped up Bones. Yeah, that's just execution.
There's no whiff that time around like the classic against Alvin Boy. I've heard that from a lot of players, right? The mental game of being up against a worse weapon, you lose the duel. And look at this, a cheeky little shield break on the phone, so less qualified for the entry. There's players here. Look at this. Bonnie has a shorty.
Oh, that's exactly what Bonnie has to do, but unfortunately, they've done the damage with the 4 players that have fallen. They've taken out Neptune, taken out Moose, and leaves Matt in a position to do some more. And with that spike planted, Matt's inching up.
You don't want to give Jonah the kill, though, and Jonah is the one that has line of sight here. That'll be Hunter's Fury for the last 2 rounds of the half.
But they could still do it. Graffiti, swing out, and no, we're not going to be getting the Hunter's Fury here. We're still going to be able to keep these, you know, ults sort of at bay, but it's Haven. They're going to be able to find an orb or a pick somehow.
This is true, but hopefully you can stop it, right? You have aggressive ults. We've seen Bonnie get super aggressive, and I feel like we haven't had that again since the last time it worked out towards mid, towards grass, and I really, really want to see it.
Yeah, and if we want to see this, it does come down to timing and precision. If we can have this long-distance player, Alvin Boy, be able to get it, but a Phantom, not going to be too easy to get that kind of pickup. And we do see a lot of aggression towards Garage, towards C. It's time for them to try to hit it, but Bonnie's here, and Bonnie wants to punish.
And Landor looking to expand the lead they've already established. Look at this, Bonnie in the hot seat. You look away at the wrong time. Silently jumping away, though. It's just been a quiet climation of space. Moves through the updraft, saves them.
Retro!
Like I never
Huge
left.
pick here. Now having to pop the ultimate. It's Moose to try to keep this team alive. And look at all that util scaring them back. And you just have to keep Moose at bay with all of this util. Do not let him get a pick. And the Moose is gone. No loose Moose today. And unfortunately, Bonnie got to stay alive. That is 2 picks down. But Bones is still here on that ISO. And the rotate has finally landed onto the A site. Are we going to be seeing that spike planted as Bones is executed by Alvin? Alvin now finding an ultimate here to try to relocate to the team. But instead, you got to use your legs, and you're going to find some picks with Retro getting another one and shut down by Shot Up. Finally, the spike has found its home.
30 seconds left.
And with 2 players versus 2 players, the retake comes down to whatever little util's left. And one of it was going to be the Hunter's Fury, and that's a big was.
Bofa just trying to use their utility, use the swarm grenades here to buy time for the reposition, to set the seed of doubt within these players about if they're long, if they're short, and it seems to have worked. They're trying to buddy system, double clear the side of short. Shot up, calls the bluff. The dart covers out, but Bonnie's still waiting. They don't let it stick. So instead, they just commit to the fight. Alvin wins off the 3K, and just like that, 7-4. And Matt, like, yeah.
the
Thankfully, we got
stress.
that round. Okay.
Yeah, you got to wipe the sweat off your brow after that one. This is an anxiety-inducing round here for Burger Boys, because if you allow Landor to get that second map momentum, they take this whole series. You cannot let them take it back with the reverse sweep, and we know they're capable of it. The fact is, they took out Jonah, and Jonah was the insurance policy. They were able to say, hey, you get the bomb, get the spike down, we have the Fury. We have the Hunters available for us, and it's now last round, so we better be seeing it.
For sure, and aside from that, it's going to be really Burger Boys in a great position to get the 7-5, right? You already have Bonnie with the blades procced. You have a lot of utility, especially if they go to a cramped site like B. That Armageddon's going to cover the majority of it. The Blade Storms get some verticality. Like, this default, I'm hoping, does not end there.
Let's hope not, as right now, already no picks, not a whole lot of information outside of where people aren't. And now we see some shots being fired here from Link, but it's not going to hit their marks quite yet. And still, the spike has to get planted somewhere, but look at how aggressive two players are compared to everyone else. And oh my god, that's done. Bonnie wants to try to punish for it and manages to spot out one. The flick is not real, and the right click does not come through, but the shots sure do. That's going to be one player down, and with Bones fallen, the person who's been making the most amount of space early in these rounds, gone.
Now, Bonnie does not need the Blade Storms to find their opening kill, to find that first blood.
Wait,
and we talked about the Hunter's Fury. This is the retaliation. It's going to open up the C site, but Bonnie challenges it head on.
Oh my god, challenges with the two-piece, and then dodging it, the flick from Bonnie. It's just one player remaining, Jonah. And look at the wall bang. The util's unreal, but it's Tejo to force you into this corner, and Retro will execute it from Garage. 5-7. Not a 9-3, but this is exactly what Burger Boys needs to turn it around.
It is devastating that it wasn't an ace. Again, that recon just too strong. You know, the wall bangs connect, but I agree with you. That's the mental shift you need when you secure a 7-5 half. And, I mean, it's an attack-sided map in theory, right? 3 sites?
I mean,
this comp too?
With this comp, it's anytime Bonnie's on attack, it's attack-sided. That's how it works because of how just devastating they are around these corners. The team synergy of being able to just flash out and do your damage. That's the whole point around this roster and why they didn't need to bring out Haven until the semifinals.
Well, let's see if they can win another pistol to get that kicked off to tie us out the game pretty early on at 7 apiece. Shock dart. You gotta be expecting that, right? Especially in a pistol. It just makes you start so much lower. It's such a disadvantage here in taking this fight and instigating on the A site. But
oh, the stuff hit. Bonnie, no fear, just gonna dash out. Even with all the damage taken from the electricity, it's electric how Alvin Boy's able to execute Neptune, and Matt, trying to be the flank watch, knows where the last two are. Now, all of attack has to just deal with this backline. As long as we have one player up in heaven, Spike definitely gonna be here, and boom, what a pick here. The post plant absolutely going clean to make this a 1v3, but it is shot up. We might be able to, never mind, get shot up.
And if anybody has stepped up this map in my mind already, it's Alvin Boy.
Oh yeah,
Like,
I mean, just today.
Like the sit down that I had with them like days ago, they were like, yeah, that matchup was really hard, our 13-11s versus YDZ Infinity. I was getting carried by everyone on my team, and I made the joke, I'm like, hey, you'll get your time to do the same, and this is that time. Look, 12-11, that was like 3K to 3K in the last few rounds alone. Like Bonnie, yeah, you almost got the ace, took the spotlight there, but they have been the one waiting then for Bonnie to come online, and now that the side swap, now that Bonnie's in the zone, that was a really clean exec.
I mean, again, where Bonnie is where the side is favored. So you have to either execute them or pull it out your own way. And right now, Bones and Neptune have to maybe get a little bit aggressive, especially on the Yoru ISO. They both have a free corner check and maybe a chance at getting a pick, but down weaponry, you look at this, so Alvin Boy and Matt ghost only. So
they can get the Vandals.
they're trying to get that money, and if they can manage this, if they survive, this is going to be going into an insane round.
This is my favorite of a risk that you take here, right? Like, you can be like, okay, is a mini team going to go for sheriffs, and then it becomes threatening, right, having light shields like this. But only Bones does in this situation. So I think it's a great call, especially when Bonnie, again, had a good round. They buy up that Phantom. They should be able to pick up the slack, no problem, get 3 rifles on a bonus.
Yeah, and jumping up, it's actually just going to be glorified flashbang retro to get around the corner and allow Nanners to get these picks. But the wall bangs are still definitely doable, but we're down on time. We're already at about 35 seconds left, and it's not about the noise made on C, the picks that they're claiming. It's the A site left free here, except for Neptune,
30 seconds
who,
left.
just with the classic, has to find some damage.
Yeah, we're planning to give a pass. Ooh, at this point,
Jesus.
Jonah, who had it, dropped it. Neptune.
Time to jump.
But 10 HP.
And gets out, but then he does not get out. And you have 13 seconds here. Spike will find its mark. And this is shot up, wanting to finish off where they started with Retro. Slowly getting aggressed here, coming out from Nanners. 1v4, all you got to do is damage.
And that's why I think Nanners is the one to swing first here. They should fall, and they do not. Now, 1 player falls, but I'd say 2 ghosts for a Sheriff upgrade is very fair.
Yeah.
So I think that's perfectly fine, and I'm hoping that we're right and that we're going to see 3 rifles on the side of Burger Boys, because they're looking, again, to do the same exact thing that their opposition did over on Fracture, where they also got rifles to try and win a 3rd round. It was a little different, right? This was 7-5. That was 9-3. And look, 1, 2, 3.
Yeah, lots of guns here on the board. And of course, as we do on our 3rd round and a half, it's time to have a listen in with Burger Boys.
Shit. Just walk close. Just walk close. We're doing the diagonal stun, okay? And we're running it down.
Yeah.
Placing swarm grenade.
Good job.
He's in there too.
I'm on it.
You might have to run through a molly, okay?
Yeah, I'll do it.
It's all good. I'm gonna bomb his exit. You hold the stun.
Not ready. Not ready. Okay, let me know.
I'm ready. Garage window. Garage window.
2, 1.
All missiles away.
He's done. It's open.
Or molly.
Out of Phantom then.
You're all 1.
Yeah, no shit.
I think I heard 2.
Just 2C.
I'm gonna walk up from B.
I'm gonna walk with him.
Yeah, I'll come with as well.
I'm holding C-Link.
I'm journeying into C-Link, okay? 1C. ISO.
2.
1 in spawn. 1 ISO C, 1. Yeah.
B,
Can we go in?
Yeah, you wanna bait me? I'll walk first.
Sure.
Alright, I'm walking in. Probably. TP on me.
ISO.
I send your A-Link.
I'm smoking off
A-Link clear. A-Link clear.
Going up.
What was it? There's 2 third C.
I have stun and don't flash. Can we fight A-Link? Go ahead
I'm
fight
only
A-Link with him.
Come in.
Okay, okay.
I can't fight.
I can. I'm just gonna talk. I'm gonna talk. Can you just play off?
C players.
2 A-Link.
I'm
3
gonna play
A-Link. 1 window. 2 A-Link, 1 window.
Player
Win this.
standing.
Win this. That's safe. Oh, never mind.
And once again, just like it didn't work for Landor over on Fracture, it does not work for Burger Boys here. Even if you bolster the bonus by the full rifles, full shields, and full utility are still superior at the moment. Part of that because Bonnie, upon entry, falls. And you kind of saw like Retro struggling with, okay, what's the call here as the ideology? Like, they wanted to be the player that stepped up. The wallbangs, you saw them, the desperation at 18 HP to find the kill to open up the map for their team. And they made the safe rotation, the safe call to go towards B. And again, they just
Time to jump.
hesitation there. Killer.
Yeah, hesitation was a bit killer. I will say it's also just the damage that that team took very early on. Retro barely able to walk away with their life. It's not going to be great when you have to re-aggress the site and everybody's incredibly low. But talk about aggression. Execution is the real word, and we might find Jonah just standing still, as quiet as he can be, not going to get spotted out or killed through that smoke. And
Got pinged out though, and you gotta wait for the regen shield before you rejoin the fight. And that'll work.
The eyes are down.
nice there from Shot Up, and unfortunately the Lurk is not going to find its value, but still, defense is ready and pushed up over by window.
Yeah, Bones, they're going to know if they're rotating through spawn, keep confident with the team. That's why the Killjoy, I was going to say, so confident on the rotation, recalling their utility for the B site, because they no longer need it there.
Is that oh no, this is a high up Odin. We got the Allfather gun staring down on everyone below, and that smoke fades, so might some people, as beautiful timing on the rotate, but if they walk away from this, Bones won't know.
Yeah, And do you walk all that way? There's only 45 seconds left. My concern here is we've seen lethal corners not get cleared by Burger Boys. So if they recognize times of the threat, they go towards B without clearing this window.
They made noise. They made
Go on
noise.
C.
Bones knows. Look at that mini map. All the rotations coming through
lost
CT,
that.
and Bones has a
30
flank.
seconds
And they have none the wiser that there's going to be an ISO behind them. But as long as we get that spike planted, it's going to be up to Bones to just execute anyone here. And look, the CT push is going to try to add that pressure. And hello, here's Bones finally showing up. 1, 2, so only 2, and now they have to go for the plant. Bonnie having to protect their teammate.
That Bonnie CT. The drone just narrowly missing. Wallbang shots coming
player
in. So
standing.
the
Odin
Odin
moment.
paper thin walls, 30 HP, Alvin. We put you on a pedestal, but that is a hard ask of a clutch.
Yeah, now 7-9. Landor favored beautifully here. Burger Boys out of commission when it comes to getting into a non-thrifty environment. I think that if they could just manage to get a little bit more and watch those close, as you said, it just kill angles. Everybody's around the corner.
I mean, it's definitely difficult when a lurk player falls that early, like we just saw, especially on a map like this, where again, control over these lanes that I think had called a multi-lane map are so pivotal. And I mean, I know it helps in these situations. And look at this, Neptune aware that it's an eco round, knows there's gonna be some light shield. Bonnie though, this is what I wanted, an eco round. Bladestorm, not getting it on a buy.
Oh my
We'll
god,
see if it works.
immediate wall bang. There goes their smokes. They do not have anything. And there goes their one player that's almost guaranteed to do something crazy and jumps right on into Moose's face. Moose has that Odin, and the stun is still going to connect. But one pick down, 2 players remaining. It's now time to swing it, and boom. That's going to be one. What? Stinger moment. Classic moment. Nanners, 1v1, has now upgraded the gun and might just book it to C, plant the spike, and just against Jonah.
You said you wanted to see Jonah in the kill feed. Can they do it when it matters most? Landor precipice of double digits here.
Oh, no.
Nanners, though, with the spike plant, gets Rolling Thunder.
But the timing spots the shot. Oh, he's looking down, and that's Nanners. Insane clutch for us, and that is going to keep Burger Boys alive. The thrifty, the semi-eco just cooking up.
And that deserves a fist bump. That deserves the smiles on their faces, right? This is the team, like we said, that the advantage early on in Fracture uncharacteristic. They know what to do in the throes of a comeback.
Yeah, and now, drink that water, you've earned it. I mean, Nanners right now, I'm surprised we didn't see that cup shaking a little bit after that clutch. I mean, what a round here. And now, as we're getting into an 8-9 score line, we got some ultimates. Lockdown, haven't really seen too many yet that haven't been broken or tried to be broken by Retro, but it's time to really see what these duelists can do as well.
Ooh, 2 spotted out. You know the Odin spray is there. You're going to disengage. You aren't going to challenge it. And, I mean, the difficulty here is they haven't seen the Killjoy utility yet. So you haven't broken any of it in Garage. You don't know if they're holed up on the A site. And I think that's why they haven't necessarily repivoted into a direct site hit. They're trying to find that information. If you see the Killjoy utility in Garage, my expectation is they immediately bolt for A. But that's where Jonah's also posted up.
Just take it inch by inch. Bonnie ready to go in with their team's util. What a decay, though, stops everybody. And against an Odin, they're all so low, just 1 pixel off, but no one is going to get punished here except for Moose, who gets absolutely annihilated here by all of the Cubby spam. And now, Alvin with that advantage, 44 seconds left. They have to keep pushing up, but wait a minute, there's a Sova trying to lurk here, and everyone's getting pressured out. And Jonah, it's your time to shine. Will we see it? 2, he gets the 2. That's even it up. It's now 3-3.
And one of the players you found had the Rolling Thunder online with Nanners. I mean, you
Oh,
have
hello.
behind you.
Backs him off.
Spike down A.
What a trade. You wanted a lockdown.
20
It's been
seconds, they can't
sprung,
plant.
but from the shadows, the perfect counter towards the C site. Spike, good. Safety, attained. And this has been chaotic from the get-go.
Everybody's just going around. The lockdown forcing a teleport. Ultimates flying everywhere. 9-9 or 8-10. It's going to be up to
Alvin,
Bones, who's on
please.
another flank. Come on, we can't be seeing Bones every time behind you. And Alvin Boy is none the wiser. Execution 1. Now it's just up to Bonnie, knowing that they're spotted. Season 1. Gets 1. Looking for the other in the swing from Logs. It's a 9. No, an 8-10. And Landor ends off beautifully.
Yeah, what we see is Bones doesn't mess around with trigger discipline like Alvin Boy does. Just takes the kill, continues business, and like we said, that's what they do. They're stoic-faced, just job's not done yet until we punch our ticket to Grand Finals and win this LAN. And aside from that, I mean, economy not utilized just yet for this squad, but this play, that was insanity. Especially after they found such a profound advantage towards the C site, the call to head towards A and right into Jonah. They finally delivered like you asked for. What else is brewing here? I mean, you have 2 hero rifles, 1 from the Rolling Thunder perhaps. I think they're going to go for a Stark exit. You don't even have a lurk player in this round.
Yeah, you don't have to lurk here if you just manage to stay close, get somebody a gun. And Hunter's Fury, Jonah gets 2! Matt and Retro are gone, and that's what we need to be seeing from a Silva on Haven. The classic moment of a starting round, but they still have the hero rifle, they still have the Rolling Thunder, and they still want to take this A site.
I think you need numbers to use it personally. Unless you get the spike down, unless you get some deagle shots from Bonnie first, and that just doesn't seem the case here.
Alvin, okay, just right out the smoke and right out the gate takes out Bones, but unfortunately they're still down 2 players. Spike will get planted. They're here for the money. They're here to try to fix their bank, and that's going to be Moose running and gunning and getting 1, 2. Nanners with 2, Nanners with 3, Nanners knows that one's ulting, and it's Jonah to shut it down. An amazing attempt here from the breach.
I was like, there's no way they do it again, right? Especially against Jonah. And I'm surprised also that Moose didn't rip the ultimate. I saw little butterflies. I saw the potential to come back to life, but they trust in their teammate, and it's redemption this time around.
They used it.
They did?
They popped it immediately to try to...
Oh, they just missed immediately. They wasted it.
Yeah, and then they died, so they didn't get to keep a gun.
That's crazy.
Yeah, unfortunately, Moose did fall there, and now, no ultimates left. You look over, we still have the Rolling Thunder, but Landor has the round advantage where it might not matter most, but it's really going to be Bones as the last ult to see.
Yeah, 1 off from the kill contract here. Looks like they're setting up again to deny a main space early on. They literally send that suppression out every round. It's conditioned here. The Killjoy is always playing offside on C as well. We haven't really gotten to see like a full 5-on-5 retake here, and I'm wondering if this is the round.
Oh my god, look at this flank watch coming out from Matt. If Matt is able to just pincer through, 3 players in garage, but oh my god, they're all turned around. The Odin needing to find 1, and oh, what a flick, but it is going to allow the opening for a nice clean ult from the ISO. Neptune's in the kill feed as we're watching a 1v1 get whiffed away, and Alvin is going to still stay alive until they push, and no way, it's Matt again, finally finishing up with their lurk. And they just smoked off the bomb. But no, Jonah! Great game sense.
If any player knows their way around wallbangs or through the smoke shots, it's going to be your Infonet, your Sova player. They even recovered the Odin to hand back off to Moose. You know, we said they were having a rough game. They haven't been since they picked up this weapon. It has wrought fear within the Burger Boys. And now map point here, the Icebox starting to come in to the forefront. And 4 rounds to go for overtime. I mean, they've done a 1-9 comeback. Burger Boys, what's left in the tank for these 4 rounds to overtime?
Let's see it. I mean, if we can get this to OT, it is going to be a big correction, and honestly in the favor of Burger Boys, because they're not going to have to worry about their money. They've been struggling in the econ game, but now they're struggling to find their opening picks here as all of this util is scaring them away from A and back onto C, and every time they've gone C, it's because Alvin Boy gets a pick like this, the teleport able to just absolutely lock down 1, and needs to find some more, but should know that there are people pushing him and needs to get to his team.
And I love that, right? They don't overheat. They almost did, but they smoke it off. They re-clear CT to make sure nobody wriggled their way in, kind of like Bones did when they reflanked the grab. And now, I mean, your Cypher spotted out too. So your team should be able to respond proactively around this, right? Nanners, Rolling Thunder for the post plant, Retro, 1 off from Armageddon. Matt, trust in your Sentinel to handle the flank. And then if they find the kill, they could have wrapped the rod. Now, it's becoming dicier. You're going to get pinched here sooner rather than later.
Yeah, the pinch will be coming out, but it's really going to be Jonah who's back on it. Gets another clean pick, but Alvin Boy finally shuts down after taking out Bones, and that's going to be Bonnie still alive. You forgot that Bonnie has to die, but Jonah is still cooking up with a clean flick. What a shot. Bonnie left all alone.
Time.
And that's it.
There's no time.
Oh my god, they're still in it, even with a near ace from Jonah.
Wow. The hype insane in the arena. I mean, we even tricked the the lighting here, and that it was a possible victory, but nope, no defuse. We're good to go. And
This goes
I
here.
mean, just seconds. I mean, they didn't have to use the ultimates. Like, that's
Yeah.
the silver lining here that Burger Boys snuck through by the skin of their teeth.
Just one ult. It was just
My
the
thanks.
Omen who was able to take over
First blood,
CT
yeah.
and take over the entirety of any Sentinel util
thanks.
remaining at C. That's the play that's going to be hopefully our
We look back
MVP.
on, yeah.
Yeah, we're going to look back on that, but let's look forward at this.
out of my
Another
way.
aggressive play from Bones.
And here we go. Another win con here has been Bonnie finding the first blood. Blaze Storm, I'm not going to lie, hasn't been too impressive on Haven, which is scary to me a little bit, but always can right the wrongs, can always
missiles
change the
away.
narrative.
Drone going
Drone out. Might be able to spot out not one, but two.
Bomb grenade out.
Yep, broken up. Knows that one's there. Great rotate here. We don't want Shot Up to get shot up again. We can't have him be the first blood giver. And now here's Jonah anchoring the A. Hopefully Bones can get there on time, but I'm looking at Matt. This lurk, we haven't seen much value out of mid.
No, last time Matt did this, right, they got shot, and then that's what allowed ISO to scale down, made a deposit below window, and then that round devolved into a
The big
catastrophic
flank,
yeah. So I want Matt to stay alive here. Play the timing until your team gets onto the A
Talk
site,
about
like
timing.
uber late. Please clear the corner.
If
That's all
we
I
don't
ask.
see another lethal corner,
Oh,
oh, clear your corners.
same
Clear
play?
it, clear it, clear it. Turn around. No way. Bones gets it every time. Spike is down, and Moose just executes.
30 seconds
Now,
left.
no spike. No chance, and oh my god, the counter flank. It's a flank where every flanker is getting flanked, and now it's Alvin Boy needing to grab the spike and needs to keep on pushing, and no way.
They're going for the
Shot
knife,
up
like,
knows.
what's going on?
No, they just give the information, and now Alvin Boy stuck here 15 seconds. It's the end of the game. Check the corners.
Two pivotal rounds, and they both were accompanied by rolling thunders too. So you feel so confident. You thought you would have learned from your mistakes, and they don't. And as a result, 1-2-1 here, we will see Icebox, which you said it was not a vacation for either of these teams, but Burger Boy, they pulled 3 wins this tournament.
Yeah, but how much was that attempt on Icebox really coming down to their meta? Like, let me ask you, Zobi, what stats are we looking at for them?
We casted that match, remember?
I know.
14-12 against Northwood in the quarterfinals. But the difference there, remember, Nanners on the ISO wasn't impressive. Today on the breach, they are fragging, they are aiming. I think they're going to be losing.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, the thing about it, Icebox definitely a little bit of a close match there for them. Northwood, a very strong team, but getting into this, Landor, easily the strongest team that we've seen so far. This is a lot of aggression back and forth. I mean, our last semifinals was a 2-0. This time, welcome to our map 3 here, where we've seen some crazy shots. We've seen some amazing gameplay. Burger Boys, I think that they have the chance here to really start off strong, but every time they start off strong, it's that losing their momentum, losing their steam, and you know, you kind of said it best. We can have a real easy tool to fix that, but at the end of the day, it comes down to how they're playing.
And these teams had like time to warm up, time to sleep in compared to our first semifinals today. And I think that's why we're seeing such a high mechanical skill level right now as well from both sides, right? Jonah, Sleeper, woke up and brought terror that was allowing Landor to close things out, right? If Jonah didn't light up, I think it would have been a comeback for Burger Boys.
Absolutely. I mean, I needed Jonah on that kill feed, and Jonah delivered, dropping the same KD that we saw from Moose last match. And that's exactly what you want from a Sova on Haven. The ultimates were clean. Everybody was doing their job. And now we have a new job for them, and that's to either end it out to get us to the grand finals here. And it's not going to be easy.
And I'm nervous. I'm less nervous, I should say, for Icebox, because remember how we talked about the role swap almost between Alvin Boy and Matt, right? Because the Omen maps go to Alvin, the Cypher KJ maps typically go to Alvin too, and this was like a juxtaposition. Well, I think the trade-off was there, right? Alvin did a lot better on their comfort role, Matt did a lot worse. So when we go to a map like Icebox, where they're both going to be in the zone, right? The Viper, the Pseudo Sentinel, and the Killjoy. We saw lurk upon lurk from both of these players. Remember how impactful that was? It was round defining. It was either 1, 2, it was one or the other.
Yeah, I mean, Bones here, I think definitely MVP for positioning. Was able to absolutely punish a team that...
Multiple times.
I mean, to be honest with you, I did not expect that kind of mistake to not be made once, not to be made twice, not to be made 4 times in total. I mean, they were having a bad time making sure that their timing was online, and it just didn't happen. But, I mean, if you're watching at home and you want to learn how to get better, when you turn a corner, turn the corner.
Yeah, Bones, maybe you should try a Sentinel rollout.
I mean, honestly, Bones could be a solid
the
Sentinel.
internal clock is off the charts. Like you mentioned, 4 times. 2 were flanked, 2 were just corners not cleared.
Yeah, but I got to ask you this. If we're talking about Bones trying Sentinel, we haven't seen Alvin Boy's Sentinel yet. We have yet to see it.
This series, yes.
This series, no. So I need to be looking at it, especially going into our last map. I want to see comfort. I want to see, where you are the biggest threat. And yes, Alvin Boy has those smokes that he's been able to absolutely weave through and punish every single time. But a good Sentinel on this team is definitely a requirement to lock this game down because, game 1, they didn't even bring one.
And so your Sentinel head-to-head then, likely for Icebox, subject to change, is going to be Alvin Boy on the Killjoy and Shot Up on the Killjoy. What do you think of that based on Shot Up's performance on the Killjoy this map?
I mean, Alvin Boy on Omen versus that Killjoy on this map was just executing and unfortunately reading Shot Up like a book. Like, we saw one of the biggest rounds from Alvin Boy, that teleport immediately taking out that player, and it consistently happened. That KJ, Shot Up, not really finding too much value outside of the occasional ultimate or util stall. But to be honest with you, it will come down to, if it is a KJ versus KJ, when are they ulting? When are they going to be making our Venn diagrams to death?
And I think my concern here, and I don't know if it's going to be then Shot Up gets a chance to leverage this because he was doing a good job at it, or if because he couldn't achieve it, it's going to struggle. Notice how he was never playing on site as the Killjoy. It was almost always this garage position. It was always off site. It wasn't as site anchor. That's how a Killjoy is played, textbook on Icebox, though, right? They are the master of mid-control. Your Viper, you facilitate them on the site, and I think that they could be good at that because they were playing like that on Haven. But also, like you mentioned, they were getting overwhelmed by Alvin, and Alvin's going to be that player consistently pressuring mid.
Yeah, talking about an overwhelming playstyle, though, what did we see on map 1 that carried Burger Boys all the way through? It was that Neon. And Neon on Icebox against the KJ, any util, dash right past it. I mean, if it's Killjoy, Neon, ISO.
They're a Jet, though. They do the Jet ISO combo, so you're going to see the op probably from Bonnie.
So we're thinking that Nanners is going to be on ISO as well?
Yeah, that's what they did last time.
Well, I mean, if you're bringing something to LAN, you got to have more tricks up your sleeve.
If you're 3-0 on the map, I think you're good.
Yeah, well, that might change. We're in the semifinals and a lot of pressure here for them. But, I mean, I'm hopeful that we do know our stuff and that we're going to be getting into this game with same old from these two teams. But at the end of the day, I think maybe they need to realize that a team has done their research and they are getting punished for it.
Well, it's hard to say, right? The success that Landor found on Icebox was a 13-1 against WoW's Little Pug Stars in their round robin. So not much of a challenge versus, right, the Icebox that we've seen were later in the bracket for the team of Burger Boys. So I feel like they have gotten the reps in.
Yeah, definitely a lot of reps in, but we are going to have to see our final rep of the semifinals after this short break. So stick around, everybody. We got more games.
Plant. One enemy. One enemy remaining. Spike planted. One enemy remaining.
Jackass.
Last player standing. Match. One enemy remaining. One enemy remaining. Three gone. Planted. One enemy.
teleport.
One enemy remaining.
Your face.
Ending. One enemy remaining. One enemy remaining. One enemy remaining. One enemy. Spike plant. One enemy. One enemy remaining. Spike planted.
Down you. Yeah. Yeah. Gotcha.
One enemy. One enemy remaining.
Jackass.
Last player standing. Match. One enemy remaining. One enemy remaining.
Three gone.
Planted. One. One enemy.
Fake teleport.
One enemy remaining.
Your face.
Ending. One enemy remaining. One enemy remaining. One enemy remaining. One enemy. Spike plant. One enemy. One enemy remaining. Spike planted.
Down you. Yeah. Yeah. Gotcha.
One enemy. One enemy remaining.
Jackass.
Last player standing. Match. One enemy remaining. One enemy remaining.
Three gone.
Planted. One. One enemy.
Fake teleport.
One enemy remaining. planted.
Down you. Yeah. Yeah. Gotcha.
One enemy remaining.
Jackass.
Last player standing. Match. One enemy remaining. One enemy remaining.
Three gone.
Planted. One. One enemy.
Fake teleport.
One enemy remaining.
Your face.
Ending. One enemy One enemy remaining. One enemy remaining. One enemy. Spike plant. One enemy. One enemy remaining. Spike planted.
Down you. Yeah. Yeah. Gotcha.
One enemy. One enemy remaining.
Jackass.
Last player standing. Match. One enemy remaining. One enemy remaining.
Three gone.
Planted. One. One enemy.
Fake teleport.
One enemy remaining.
Your face.
Ending. One enemy remaining. One enemy remaining. One enemy remaining. One enemy. Spike plant. One enemy. One enemy remaining. Spike planted.
Down you.
One enemy remaining.
Jackass.
Last player standing. Match. One enemy remaining. One enemy remaining.
Three guns.
Planted. One. One enemy.
Fake teleport.
One enemy remaining.
You're finished.
Ending. One enemy remaining.
I'm back.
One enemy remaining. One enemy remaining. One enemy. Spike plant. One enemy. One enemy remaining. Spike planted.
Down you. Yeah. Yeah. Gotcha.
Well, the adventure continues. We've had an amazing time so far watching Burger Boys and Landor play. And guess what? Well, our analyst said that we would go to map 3, but you two aren't the analysts I had before.
No.
Well, don't worry. We have Northwood's Vix here, and we have Burger Boys Zostal here.
Blue Otter.
Blue Otter, sorry. I don't know what of course, not Blue Burgers. But Zostal, you two both have very interesting perspectives here, and I really want to take a deep dive before we go into our third map, which is Icebox. Vix, you lost to Burger Boys on this map.
Yes.
I'm so sorry. But going through your traumatic experiences and reliving them briefly, what was the biggest thing that they had against your team?
So they were really aggressive. Sometimes we couldn't handle that. You know, we were breaking Alvin's turret a lot. We did a successful job of doing that. He wasn't really fighting us much, but they were pushing through A a lot. On defense, we couldn't really close it out because they were fighting together really well. So expect them to just run it down together.
Just aggressive, 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 aggressive.
Yeah.
Now, if there's another team I know that's super aggressive and also made it to grand finals, so sorry, Vix, was that Blue Otter. It's a very similar structure. We talked about in the interview the duality between you and Bob. Zeldris is added to the mix, and everybody else in Blue Otter does a great job. Your aggression versus Burger Boys. You're going to be watching Icebox. Are you going to be counter-stratting them in real time?
I don't know about counter-stratting. I'm going to keep looking to see like what they're doing. They definitely set Boney up with a lot of util and play match and frag out, so I'll continue to see if they do that on Icebox. And I mean, it's similar for Landor. I'm going to continue seeing like how often they're setting up lurks like that. It's the only thing that they like doing in other maps and stuff. So I'll keep an eye out, but not necessarily hard counter-strat.
Gotcha. But do you agree with Vix that Burger Boys are a very aggressive team?
Yeah, they're pretty aggressive. I think they try to set Boney up with a lot of util, especially, and set him up to pick a lot of duels, and then they have Matt really playing for like deep lurks and stuff like that a lot. But
So the bigger question then is, which of the two teams left before they head into grand finals is the more aggressive team?
I'd say Burger Boys is more aggressive. Landor has like maybe a little bit slower. Moose is playing a lot of those lurks and stuff like that, so they like to go back to him a lot, let him activate his lurks. But I'd say overall aggression is probably Burger Boys.
I think Edu brought up a really good point back on Haven that we saw lurks beginning on the attacking side for Burger Boys, but it didn't really amount to a lot. And oftentimes we would see Burger Boys not clear very, very important corners. Was this something too that they did a lot back against your matchup in Northwood?
So I think their struggles with their lurks on Haven has to do with them moving Matt and Alvin. So Alvin's not primarily a smokes player, so I think that's why their lurk struggled a lot. They weren't really lurking much against us. Maybe that role swap did them a little bit dirty.
That's very interesting. And this role swap is pretty new too, right?
Yeah.
Oh, I mean, that might be reconfigure everything in your head, right?
Maybe, a little bit.
I mean, what's to expect, right? You bring out new players. Again, I go back to Bob, right? She went to, from Initiator Duelist back to Initiator. You have a bunch of role swaps. Now you have to expect in your mind going to what could very well be Grand.
Yep.
You know, does Alvin changing to that smoking role change things for you?
I mean, maybe a little bit. I mean, we're probably just gonna run like our game plans. We don't focus too much on like other teams, like their role swaps like that. We try not to worry too much about that. We do our game plans, we do our own thing, and then we adapt in real time.
So you don't worry about counter-stratting that much at all?
I mean, like we do some counter strats. Like if teams have very obvious tells and stuff like that, like we'll pick up on them, but we won't do any super in-depth like whatever stuff. We'll adapt in real time.
See, to me that's interesting because one question I didn't get to ask you in the interview was that your team has a lot of different map bans per series. And to me, I'm thinking, okay, that must be hard bans about against which teams prefer which maps the most and what their best performing maps are. And you get rid of them. That's not the case?
I mean, we normally, I mean, it's kind of swaps up. Like I said, it's like kind of adapted. It's kind of whatever we're feeling that like week or couple of days. It sometimes depends on the other team. It kind of swaps day to day. We don't have like a consistent structure.
Oh, interesting. Interesting. Okay. Now, Vix, talk to me real quick. Who do you think is going to win this next map?
And it's a tough one. I didn't get a chance to look at Landor's comp, but if they are able to shut down Boney and manage their aggression, I think I can see Landor winning easily.
Is Boney the key to success?
I believe so, yeah. Especially on Icebox. You know, they like to push through A lot, set him up with two other people, primarily Sova, and I forget who else they were with, but they had a three-man strong A setup. So they let Alvin handle mid alone. So he's definitely their win.
That's what happened a lot back on Haven too, is that you would have a double defense setup with the Sentinels, right? And then the other sites, or the primary other site, would be all the defensive players, like a 3-stack, pushing out very aggressively. That shouldn't change a whole lot.
I don't think so. I think Landor, if they tighten up and just peek together, play tight, they should be able to handle it.
Okay, very interesting. And now we're going to go into uncomfortable territory for you.
Nah, it's totally fine.
This was not a map that went well for Blue Water earlier this tournament.
No. Did not go well.
Does it keep you up at night?
No, it doesn't. We won the series. You know, it wasn't our best map, but we learned from it, we move on.
Very good PR answer. But talk to me really, Zostel.
Yeah.
If you have to go back to this map again for Grands, are you ready?
Yeah, we're ready. We have a different game plan. We already talked about like our mistakes like from the map. Like that's why it doesn't really keep me up at night or anything like that. We talked about our mistakes. We made the adjustments we need to make. We have a new game plan going in. We should be fine.
Pretty good answer. I've got nothing for that. Well, it looks like we should be going to map number 3 pretty soon. I'm still waiting on word to see when we can head back over to our casters. But one last question is, who do you think is going to go to Grand Finals?
I think Blue Otter's going to be facing off against Landor.
Ooh, Landor, really?
Yeah.
Okay, I mean, they did have a slow map 1.
Yes.
They warmed up for map number 2. And you still think they can take map number 3?
I think once they got the juices flowing, you know, a lot of people aren't very strong map 1 players. It takes a little bit to get into your rhythm of calming with your team and flowing the energy, idea making, shooting back, you know. So I think after that strong win on Haven, you know, they were kind of crumbling.
They're crumbling?
Yeah.
Ooh.
Not Landor, the
Burger Boys, right?
Yeah. Towards the end.
I hate it when my burgers crumble, man. It sucks, dude. I mean, especially when they're extra soggy, but I will say Burger Boys did look a little soggy towards the end. They've looked a lot better. What about you, Zostel? Oh, actually, I'm going to ask you a two-parter.
Okay.
Which team do you think is going to make it to Grands? Which team do you want to face the Grands?
It's the same answer for both. I think Landor will probably win. I think that they're the better team when it comes to like lurks like that. I think that Burger Boys have a good chance. Like if their A hit is really strong and they can just use A on Icebox attack, then they definitely have a solid chance of winning. But I think overall Landor is going to be better on this map, better overall. And then I also want to play Landor just because we haven't really played them. We've played Burger Boys like a lot, so it'd just be a new experience. And also they're like on a big win streak, so it's always fun to try to end win streaks.
That's true. I think I counted on VLR between maps. It was like 35 series in a row.
Yeah, they won a lot.
That's pretty. Imagine being the team that can shut that down.
No, it's fun.
That'd be huge.
Brand new team, shutting down a win streaks like that. It'd be a fun series. So
that would be a fun series. Now, I think we're just about ready to head over to our casters. So I'm going to take a blind shot in the dark and say, Edu, Zobi, I hope you're ready because I want to see this third map.
One enemy. One enemy remaining. Spike planted.
Down you. Yeah. Yeah. Gotcha.
One enemy. One enemy remaining.
Jackass.
Last player standing. Match. One enemy. Remaining. One enemy remaining.
Three gone.
Planted. One. One enemy.
Fake teleport.
One enemy remaining.
Your fate.
Ending. One enemy
I'm back.
One enemy remaining. One enemy remaining. One enemy. Spike plant. One enemy. One enemy remaining. Spike planted.
Down you. Yeah. Yeah. Gotcha.
One enemy. One enemy remaining.
Jackass.
Last player standing. Match. One enemy. Remaining. One enemy remaining.
Three gone.
Planted. One. One enemy.
Fake teleport.
One enemy remaining.
Your fate.
Ending. One enemy remaining.
And welcome back, everybody, to the Momentum Series. We have Spike Drop Season 4 here at the HyperX Arena, and now our semifinals. Number 2 is getting heated up with map number 3 on the coldest map of Icebox. I'm Edu. I'm joined with Zobi. Zobi, are we excited for this?
Yeah, I mean, you asked for a closer matchup, and it has definitely delivered. Each team winning their own map pick, sending us to Icebox, which is a bit of a coin toss. We've said it. Trial by fire for Burger Boys. They've played it a lot. They've grown a lot in this map, but it's been a kind of more dynamic victory, right? A 13-1 for against WoW's Little Pugstars for Landor. So it makes it seem like they're starting the map, but have they truly been tested?
Yeah, and, you know, getting in the group stage, there was a lot of people there that weren't gonna be testing their might. But as we are now into this one, we looked over at Burger Boys' Icebox, and what was it, 14-12 there? So Burger Boys has this slight buff where the more they play on a map in a tournament, the better they are on it if it's literally round after round. So I'd say 26 rounds of Icebox is more than enough warm-up for this event.
I will say, though, also, right, like, this matchup between Northwood and Burger Boys was streamed yesterday, right? And if you finished your match quickly, you know, and another us 2-0 as well, you might have had some downtime to watch that match because all of the games are played right downstairs in the arena together, and you can watch and be like, oh, Alvin Boy, Matt, always lurking up tube, I'm gonna remember that, and that could come out versus you didn't get to watch them on that Icebox match in the group stage.
Absolutely, and now getting into Icebox, we could talk about Agent Select here a little bit of what we can anticipate. Now, we won't see it. This one is for our last match, but getting here, it does come down to comfort over anything. I want to be seeing, you know, we talked about comfort and confidence when it came to Bonnie on the Neon. But now, Alvin Boy, we haven't seen that Sentinel yet. We have not seen really what these teams have kind of come to know.
And to me, it's not even Alvin Boy's comfortability, it's Matt's, right?
Yeah.
Because that was kind of the juxtaposition that we said was like they swapped roles, but Alvin Boy, like even in the off role, embraced it, was positive and multi-positive, almost top bragging when they lost Haven, versus it was Matt that struggled. So getting Matt back on their comfort role to me is what's impactful, because we've seen it what happens, right? They were consistently lurking up mid, tube on Viper on Icebox. Yeah. The Vice was always behind you no matter what on Lotus. So I think that, again, this is that what's going to remedy the Haven difficulties is the map pick of Icebox.
Yeah, absolutely. And now in this map pick, of course, it's going to be a lot of pressure here. They know that on the opposite side, coming out of this tunnel might lead you into a new hole, which is going to be against Blue Otter. And Blue Otter, they have the benefit of already having their game done. They're watching this right now being like, oh, so they do that. Okay, this is a strat we can counterplay. Blue Otter winning that first set already has a huge advantage of, we don't have to VOD review, we do it live.
Well, I mean, I agree with that, but there is like a common sense when we were talking to some of the staff about it. Like, players know, like, at this point, you gotta ban Ascent against them. You know they're gonna ban Icebox. Like, I feel like the maps that we saw here today, or here, probably aren't gonna get, or at least like this Icebox not gonna get played. I'm telling you,
I think it's more about the character and play style changes.
Mm-hmm.
So if you know that there's gonna be a lurker in Moose, if Landor makes it through, if you know that there's gonna be a fast swinging duelist like Bonnie, you know how to play around that, and that's what really matters in watching these games here live and being able to be on our stage, to be able to see everything from our, honestly, beautiful venue.
Well, I mean, we've laid out kind of which players we want to see improve, and they have improved, right? Moves from first half to second half on Fracture. Jonah throughout Haven, right? Stepping up and basically close out the map for Landor. And for Burger Boys, right? Nanners, we said it. They were, you know, not the most impressive on the ISO last time on Icebox, but they are aiming today. They were clutching rounds on the breach. So put them back on their selfish role of the ISO. I think they're going to do a lot better today.
Yeah, I mean, I want selfish. I want frags. I want to be able to have this entire arena erupt when something crazy happens, when something that shouldn't happens, when people need to check corners, all right? Because you either check it yourself or you get wrecked by bones.
What is a lethal corner does not go cleared? Heaven on the A near, you know, Belt, that's probably the most lethal I think I would say. A main, the close corner left, I would say. But also, I mean, I think Burger Boys could do some damage in these corners, right? We know Alvin has an affinity for a judge, you know, tuck away over towards main. Matt, the same off of your Viper Orb, your one-way. We'll see if that comes into effect, but...
I mean, the Vipers here as well, I think the main potency that they have, we've been seeing some crazy plays inside of these Viper pits, and with the way that the players who lock these in will be performing, they go for frags. We're going to be seeing a lot of green smoke here.
And that's what scares me, right? It's Matt on the Viper. We've seen that. unless they change it, which you were like hoping they might make a change, spice things up, versus Landor, who has Moose usually on the Viper. And I feel like Moose, after map 1, at least in that second half, was aiming probably leagues ahead of map. Matt, if you get warmed up, if you lock in, if you reprise the role that we saw yesterday on Lotus as the Vice, like, I think they can find that same impact. We're just talking about fighting in Viper's pits.
Yeah, and really what we've seen from Icebox in general is, okay, we have a Viper, they put up a wall, it's over towards the B site. And every single time that an execution happens, they always have that to fall back on, but it's about being able to play without those. So Jet has been the smoke for these teams when it comes to actually executing the other side of this map. And if you are able to lock it in, that's going to be up to Bonnie. That's going to be up to these players. And we have seen the double sentinel, or sorry, double controller coming out here from, Alvin Boy, but just give me your Cypher. Give me your Killjoy. Give me something here that can shut down players like Moose and players on this team, like Neptune especially. We haven't talked enough about Neptune.
Ooh, and Neptune. I mean, like, they were there, they were getting their kills, right? But Bones kind of stole their spotlight over on Haven, right? And so, I mean, coming into a map like this where you maybe expect Neptune just to be on a supporting KO, like, they're the player that can shut down Burger Boys in that utility, right? Like, mistime knife. We saw how, like, Matt was always getting caught, right? By Northwood and their KO, and how that would throw off the wall cycling, and then you would lose control over a site. I think Neptune can definitely, like, leverage, like, your timing to find that similar impact if they run the same composition.
Yeah, but is it going to be the same composition? We know that these teams have been just grinding out their best agents here for this event. I mean, yeah, we enabled Waylay, but to be honest with you, right here, there are so many characters that are just tried, true, and tested, and we might be able to get those. But I'm seeing a smile on Moose's face. I want to see a loose Moose. I want to see this guy absolutely bowling a China's shop, just being able to game. But, Zobi, at the end of the day, we've had so many games end with upsets, with a little bit of a turnaround, and we've asked predictions about us. Now that we've actually seen these two teams play against us, I give you an out. Will you be changing your prediction?
From Landor to Burger Boy?
Well, yeah. Do you think that Burger Boys is going to be the favorite in this round, or are you still saying Landor is the stronger team?
If we're looking just at Icebox, I think I have to lean towards Burger Boys. Like, they just, again, have been through the ringer. They know their comp. They know what they need to work on. Let me rephrase. Burger Boys if Nanners does better than they did yesterday.
Okay, that's fair.
Because, like, Northwood and, like, Landor, right, very different tiers. So I think if Nanners performs at their best, it'll bring it up to the Landor tier versus, like, the team that the performance that beat Northwood yesterday was enough. That performance, I don't think is enough to beat them.
True, but again, on this map, a lot less of a worry here. Wow's Little Pug Stars, as much as I love their team and the energy they bring, not a lot of rounds taken against Landor there. So let's see if we know our stuff, if the agents are going to be locked in here, if a 13-1 was enough to kind of get that confidence here, as we're going to jump into our agent select, find out with our flybys. Welcome to Icebox, welcome to the Arctic. It's a little chilly up in here in the caster booth as we're going to be looking at some very intriguing picks.
I mean, Burger Boys, stay in Compass quarterfinals. Check. Landor, the safest composition you can go for on Icebox that everyone should know how to play. Check. It's also the same comp that they did run in that group stage match. So getting some familiarity there. Moose on the Viper, like we mentioned. And I'm curious to see how this time they're going to work with Shot Up. My guess is Shot Up's going to be like that primary lurk player that pressures mid. Moose, right, they had very passive lurks, right, on Fracture, right? They never were taking fights unless Burger Boys brought the fights to you. I feel like this map's different because the Viper will, like, be actually claiming space.
Oh, we're going to be seeing a Moose in mid. The Moose is loose in mid.
But then what's Shot Up doing?
What's Shot Up doing? Oh, Shot Up is going to be getting aggro up in either B. It's going to be, they're going to take turns.
I was thinking swap them, you know?
Yeah, swap them maybe. Yeah, but they're going to take turns.
Either way, it's more proactive plays.
Yeah, well, as we are getting proactive, as we're getting active into our games, welcome everybody to Game 3 of our semifinals. It's time to rock it, time to lock it in. Will it be Burger Boys? Will it be Landor? Let us know right now as we see Retro starting off with Bones.
And that's your entry duelist gone. This toxic screen to decay, and Retro is trying to ace their way into a pistol round victory while on the road for
the
precision.
one enemy remaining.
So does
Spike
the
down
timing.
A.
So with that, Spike still drops the victory from the
Starting to dwindle here, but it's no numbers here coming out for shot up, and with 17 HP, the classic right click has to do it, and right now it's just not finding its mark. But look at this read, they're almost lined up for it, and that's one. That's another pick down, 2 bullets, easy reload, but Jesus, are we gonna be seeing the clutch? No, it's Matt to shut it down here, and that's the gameplay I gotta be looking at for Burger Boys. You said that you've changed your predictions. If anybody in the arena has changed theirs, now's the time to lock it in.
And Retro's that one player where we're like, hey, they're doing their job, they're doing great, they're the IGL, they're calling. We had no like quote unquote critiques for them or things we want to see, right? And I mean, boy, Deacon with the 3K there, just I mentioned previously like a Sova soloing from the sights, unexpected, but again, the support of the Viper there, pistol there, and now they're on the fast track.
Yeah, already we're seeing the typical Viper wall, but the answer to the Viper wall is not here. It's on A right now. But now, with Matt, wanting to try to find a pick, not going to be able to get spotted, and that's going to be a huge spike. Carrier killed. And the Marshall being able to take out a player like Jonah. Information's going to be a lot harder to find, and the flash is perfect. But are we going to see the punish through? Nice from Matt.
And Matt evaded the recon, got out of dodge, and helped. And that's fundamental because they're not running 1 but 2 sniper rifles. You saw Alvin Boy with 1 in mid as well, and they have definitely scared these players off. You can't go mid, you can't go B main, you gotta group up and make a decision. It looks like it's going to be leaning towards A, which actually looks like Burger Boys has left it open for a retake, or they realize, okay, we can get over there in time because this is a little bit smaller of a map.
Yeah,
Spike
and
down,
Nanner's
attacker
Guardians
spawn.
in hand. That's going to be 1 pick down, and here's shot up, managing to survive, grab the spike in a long distance diff onto a Guardian here. I mean, again, classic, free gun, favorite gun for me, but are we going to be seeing them being able to plant that spike? Of course, on this site, it's not going to be too easy with all the post plant really coming down to
30 seconds left.
And you still are in a 2v4. You need an advantage. You need a risk taken, and that's what Moose is trying to do here. Tries to get the screen player that was solo waiting for the rest of their teammates, but like you said, you got your back. The teammates have Alvins, and they each get there.
Each getting theirs with the Marshall. I mean, that's exactly the type of gameplay that we've come to know. I mean, Burger Boys has started off every single game with a pistol round 1 and with some couple rounds under their belt. They know how to start off strong. The problem comes into the buys here, and if they're not able to get these rifles up, if they're not able to keep it, like we've seen them try time and time again to go for those forces, might be looking into a bad start.
And I just saw Alvin Boy drop his sniper rifle or drop a rifle to somebody. I'm not quite sure which alternative that was, but either way, they are forcing up. And we've seen them do this quite a few maps here, perhaps. I'm curious if we're finally going to see what's successful.
No, it's a weapon upgrade.
That's what I was saying,
Yeah, dropping over the Marshall and making sure to hide it so no one has the advantage in that long spot. But let's get a listen in here with Landor. What's their plan?
I got it. I think I'm a dark close. Dynamic, just shot. Nobody. Watch out 5, sir.
You can drone in a site.
You just spray it. I'm a drone. You do 5. Close right, peek
Close
it.
right, close right. Two, close right.
He's stuck Gen, guys, stuck Gen. So,
Getting all close.
Yeah, all.
We get pipes.
Are you ulting?
All.
Yes.
You should run.
Yeah, I'm a turret flag. We get ready to all peek, right?
Yeah. Ready, I'm ready.
They're gonna flood after. They're gonna flood
Can we go
after.
early? Can we go early? Can we go a little early?
After now.
Hold my after, guys. You guys need a hold my after.
I have a flash back there.
Hold my right. There's plenty for belt. We can play it if we need. I can flash you in front of you. I'm flashing in front of you, Jonah. Let's go. 3, 2, 1, pop.
Yeah.
He's marshalling around.
What if I screen?
I have double mollies.
5 screens.
Don't peek after.
I'm fighting screen.
I'm
like after.
Close. 3 screens. Play off me screen for
Defeated.
One more screen.
I got next,
One guys. Good shot. Okay, I wish.
Recall it. Out of charges.
That easy.
Guns up, but
And while Matt may be 1 HP, they take a few down with them. 3 kills on the board. And we were talking about during that, the fact that the lockdown was invested on a bonus. It's become expectation at this point that they're going to have a few rifles and you don't want to trifle with it. But you were pointing out the communication was still in sync. It was perfect there, and so was the utility usage, right?
Absolutely. I think right now it does come down to the communication and that 3, 2, 1, go. As now we are now into round number 4. Rifles on the board for both. Burger Boyz, learning from the mistakes from the past 2 rounds, knows that that bonus is not going to be winnable against this team, has the buys. And this is where we're going to be seeing them use it. But no, they lose it. 2 players have already fallen early enough. And now the retake is going to come down to Nanners here. The ISO we've been highlighting. We know we're going to be seeing it here. The shock darts not quite doing enough damage to really scare Neptune, but it's the double tap that keeps him alive. And now Bones might be able to get a nice clean spray. It's now only 2 players remaining. Make it 1 more. Moose in the mid. The Moose is loose. We finally see it, and it's just going to be Bonnie here.
Lurk on the lurk again. Operator, I'm expecting, yeah, look at the look what's about to swing from spawn. They don't even realize, I mean, you knew they would push the kitchen snow pile here. Finally, we get a smile out of Bones this late into the semifinals, but that's difficult, right? You talked about finally getting the money right. You got the operator online, which is key on this map to a defense, and you lose it. So you talked about it. As soon as rifles come in hand, it gets tied. It's, you know, making up for lost rounds on the side of Landor.
Yeah, and Landor definitely knows that the second they start making up for those lost rounds, it's Momentum City here in the Momentum Series here. It's time to maybe start building up more of those ultimates. We've already seen the lockdown getting used. We're close to seeing Bones being able to have their knives. We're really close to seeing just everything for post-plant set up. It's about preventing that spike from hitting the site.
And this, obviously, not perfect eco for Burger Boyz, so they stack towards A with no info, no call. They make the pivot to try and help Matt. Poison's gone. Dear life, and they cannot.
And that's going to be 2 picks down, already opening up, and that's going to be the double tap with a clean 1 tap. And now, can we see the double tap live up to its name? And another one here for Nanners, but no, it is going to be shot up, getting 1, and Retro being all alone, blinded, and they just take their time. No Whiff City today. It's time to find more, and then the eco round incredibly quick.
And I thought for a second, like I had the intrusive thought, and I'm sure that Nanners did too. I'm 5 HP, I have a sheriff, and I have a kill contract. Do I pop it? Because it would get you back up to full HP, you get a fair fight without the gun advantage or equality. And if you were feeling confident, and if you won that, it could have flipped this map on its head. But an alternative universe here. A buy round syncing with the ult cycle of Landor spells, to me, almost disaster for Burger Boyz. And is that an operator on the attack side for Bones?
You have to have an answer if you're going to be seeing players like Retro and Bonnie starting to pick up these snipers early. So, honestly, you look over, it is going to be maybe a kill contract. You know where that op is. You're going to be able to grab it with the ISO and have that advantage. But there's been so many times we just see a shorty in the backdrop there, and I'm not sure if we are prepared for it. But Nanners is prepared in an insane high ground. Will be suppressed immediately. It's time for the null command to start this team's aggression, and that's going to get them onto this site. The spike now planted, as unfortunately it's another retake.
Look at that, right? You're solo playing not just off-site safe, but in spawn safe, right? To play that Hunter's Fury down because you are respecting Burger Boyz and their ability to retake onto this site off of stuff like the kill contract. Set it my way.
No distraction.
But not before they find a frag onto Alvin Boy.
And now, this is exactly what you need to be doing. Nanners is set up for it, and yeah, the shorty play to try to break it. They didn't swing early enough, and that's going to be Matt in the kill feed as well, taking out the KO. 3 versus 3. The post plant definitely favoring Landor, but let's see the aggression, trying to stop the Hunter's Fury by just jumping above him. It's already halved. Bonnie keeps getting it, and that's going to be the pick. They can just stick it all the way through, and there we go. The round ending here. Burger Boyz needed it, baited it, wanted out. No op, no Hunter's Fury.
And that would have been a great round to listen into, right? Like the awareness of, okay, we need to push forward. They're going to be playing Hunter's Fury. The awareness that, okay, Shadab has flanked and killed our teammates multiple times, like when Matt was on the verge of that 3rd round bonus clutch. So they navigated that perfectly off the Viper's Pit retake. And we saw ults left and right. 2 for Burger Boyz, 2 for Landor, and Burger Boyz finally able to get a rifle round on the board and keep us tied.
Yeah, a tied game this early, something we haven't really seen much of, but with lineups up, with one-way set for these Vipers, it's now time to see how much money can Landor keep investing against Burger Boyz' attempt at a recovery. Already we're seeing some, and Hunter's Fury immediately answering, might be able to find some damage, but just a little bit too far. Not going to hit anybody. It does buy time against B and pushes them into mid. This funnel has a Sova and a KJ looking at it.
And last time, Landor was able to really quickly abuse mid-space, but that's not the case scenario this time around. In fact, the players playing a little bit deeper, farther off, right? Alvin Boy towards screens, Yurosova towards snow pile, in sight. And I think like now that the Killjoy realizes, okay, no one's pressured mid, that's why the Sova starts leaning to support Matt here.
And they're one-way set up, but the wall immediately counters it. They're just going to jump right past. If we can see that spike on the site, we might be able to have that post plant. Unfortunately, we gotta have those shock darts. We have to have boost on it, but 40 seconds remaining, and I'm seeing a lot of players backing, looking for a potential lurk, but Alvin Boy's already here, and Moose still has full mid control.
I mean, he's probably going to pop the orb when he wants
30
to cross
seconds
over,
left.
would be my expectation here. But I wish Alvin Boy somebody could waltz.
Yeah, waltz through the smoke with a shot like that. Now the high ground executed. Alvin Boy managing to find their value, but again, Spike has to hit the ground here, and Alvin Boy is finally finding more to do it too. And there is the double tap active. 2v2 online here for us as Matt needs to start inching up, and unfortunately leaves their player alone. It's just going to be shot up to get one, and Matt looks up 3 HP. Spike in the full possession of Jonah. One shock dart. You can get grazed by a recon dart and fall here.
Jonah has one, exactly. And it's playing in the corner as well, so there's no real evasion, no escaping it. I mean, at this point, they're not gonna, okay, yeah, there we go. And
Very good attempt from Matt. I mean, the goal there, try to stick it. You don't got much information. You're assuming that they've already used both of those shock darts. At the end of the day, an amazing attempt at a clutch from Matt. But as we are getting into this, it's now going to be 3-4. Landor completely taking away the money.
And, I mean, hero guardian for Alvin. It's been the Killjoys trying to put up numbers, put up frags here, like, immensely. Look at that. Shot up 8 and 4 right now. Some of them from the clutch attempt on the pistol, but still, they're finding the impactful frags that tip the scales in the favor of Landor in these post-plant scenarios. And if they keep it up, I think it's going to be a good match.
Nanners, we've seen this play before, trying to get that orb, needs to build up that kill. And if they can just get that ultimate, it's a free pick here for Nanners. But Bonnie popping the knives and popping the heads, that's the kind of pick on a bone that matters most. But close quarter combat against the KJ, re-swinging this is going to be difficult, but no, gets it executed anyways. And that is the numbers advantage over to Burger, even though they're at the weapon disadvantage. But the right click, it's the picks. And that's going to shut out another one here. Spike back on the site in the Viper pit, getting ready to guarantee this.
Spike planted.
But how do you do it against Alvin Boy?
Initiated. This is the Nico route. This is when you know you have confidence, when you know there's the ability of a conversion here, and you are going to make it a reality.
Doesn't kick him out.
Yeah, that Viper's going all the way to jail here. But you're going to know in the corner that they're still in the pit, so you confine them to a very, very small area since they were not detained. Snakebite on the choke point here, so you can take the deeper space, but someone's got to get on.
Yeah, gotta tap that bomb. Oh my god, what is that from Jonah? But Alvin Boy just goes right through it, executing too. Even with the jumping classic, it's this player right here to get their entire team screaming right now.
Talk about right in the script, we laid out the Killjoy head-to-head, and we're like, what can we expect from these players? And they're not even doing their jobs, they're doing the jobs of other teammates. The retake, the first bloods, all going to them. And it's in important rounds as well to keep us head-to-head, 4-4. We talked about how, again, each time the economy's in shambles, they win around they shouldn't.
Yeah, and honestly, this is just welcome to the Grand Finals with how much this team has been kind of bred for this matchup. This is exciting, and this now comes down to rifle versus rifle yet again. But, Matt, lots of utility, is going to get recon down. This time joined by the Sova, up close and personal, and the Pixel Perfect Peek is not going to quite find much value from it, but they still have their numbers, and they're not cowering in fear this time.
The quick rotation as well from Nanners, proactive. You trust in Alvin Boy again with this mid-hole, but look, Moose is snuck at least into tube, just snugly waiting. Knows there's going to be a turret in kitchen awaiting. And it was like early kill contract onto the KO that had this spike.
Yeah, and the double tap makes it almost free, then free, as now Hunter's Fury is going to rain through. Sova's voice echoing across Yellow and across Snowman, wanting to find its mark. It does not find the damage, and 50 seconds left on the clock. They have to get that spike down, but unfortunately for this team, they still have to wait for Moose to push up.
Yeah, they look like they were trying to cash in on that insurance policy, but look, who is gonna be there
Jonah
to open up the options. I don't even know where they found the kill on to Matt.
Snowman.
Crazy,
From
bro.
Snowman. It's just
I mean, but look at the kill
30
swing.
seconds left.
Alvin never let this angle. That's what I asked of them a few rounds prior.
Perfect. Absolutely perfect. You know that Moose is going to try to take that space with 20 seconds. Bonnie just playing smart. Not going to get spotted here. Stop the bomb play, but oh, they're all together. Where are you looking? That's why you check corners. A little bit of a no you from what we witnessed there. 12 seconds. Spike needed to go plant it, but Jonah has to just kill people first. And can't do it. Huge.
Try harder.
Exploding on the site here. Look at that energy in the studio today.
Not only does Bonnie win the round,
we know
he
the
does
drill.
it with style
Stick to your
and
roles
with
and we'll
a
crush it.
vengeance. We talked about catastrophic corners. That one's not one you see every day. And man, oh man. Like, you don't even see it in your peripheral while planting, or you realize it too late. But every like small mistake, anything that could have been exploited there was by Burger Boys. And Landor, if that's to define the rest of this half, it's gonna be cautious.
Yeah, but that round really came down to trusting your util landing. Jonah there, a pixel off on that recon dart, sees everything. But now, look at the Bonnie, wanting to get aggressive, will be dashing up, but Nanners is also here. The spot doesn't stop Bonnie, able to grab another
Not
pick
again.
here. Bones is just getting diffed when it comes to the jet fights.
And I think this is something we actually see improvement from the quarterfinals. Nanners and Bonnie fighting and playing together. This is what I asked for and didn't receive. And it's helping them tenfold.
Absolutely. Now, slowly pushing up. The orb's still available, trying to maybe fight for it, maybe getting an ultimate on the board, but Bonnie's going to be sitting back site. You're going to have to take your time. You still have one up top, and that's going to just do enough damage. But that's why Alvin Boy is here, angering these corners, grabbing a pick like that. Unfortunately, 3 players are still available, but that is Moose finally finding his mark, but Retro punishes it with his counter flank, and now it's a little bit of a rotation. 40 seconds left. You got more than enough time to hit B. But what can you do once you get there?
Retro was just a bystander rotating to the A side and says, wait a minute, and somehow saves the day, right? Such low
30 seconds
HP
left.
for both of these players, actually. And, I mean, getting the spike down at this point would be like a gracious moment. I mean, this snake bite would kill Jordan.
It would, but I think what's going to kill Matt here is going to be one well-timed shock dart. Needed to get the... No. Come on. No, it's not going to be the angle
10
here.
seconds
Spike
left.
will
Boys in
be
a core.
falling
Spike
in.
planted.
So is
One
going to be
enemy
Jonah.
remaining.
That's going to be one down. It's all up to Shot Up, who has only a stinger and unfortunately is missing the back of their skull.
The crunch is good. And I'm still impressed that Bonnie almost got away with the same pipes play
Team
that they
Ace.
did last time with the Blade Storm. And they just didn't follow through. They fall off. And I think you mentioned that they were trying to claim the space. They were just trying to make sure Bonnie wasn't there in Maze. So again, keeping the team guessing, pushing them away from your sights. Like Burger Boys up 6-4, can sit pretty for the rest of the half, and it will be looking for more.
And you know, looking at the scoreline here, Burger Boys and Landor, they were trading blows. Rock'em Sock'em Robots, who's next gonna pop here, as every single time we saw them go back and forth, unfortunately, Burger Boys just said, stop that, and we're gonna lock it down, and Landor doesn't have a lot of options remaining here. We don't see too many ultimates that can really set them up, and 2 more rounds to tap.
And this time, look at the angle Nanners has set Bonnie up on. It's so reminiscent because Nanners also plays Breach. It's just this duo is a recipe for success.
Spike down
Bonnie,
A.
stop doing it like that. It's just so clean. So clean. Might be able to find another. No, just gets out. Re-swinging this. Definitely a bold play, but if you can get another one, Neptune gone. Bonnie. 9 HP, inching up. Might spot somebody, but it's the high ground here from Moose. Hold on, still alive, but unfortunately, it's going to be trades finally coming through. 3 versus 3. The regen armor keeping someone alive to at least take 1 body shot. But at the end of the day, that is 1 HP if I've ever seen it. And it doesn't matter. You could be low, but it's about who you are above on that kill feed. Another one here for Shot Up and Retro. You know some of them are low. And you spot one. You fall, you get one, but the spray transfer ain't quite there, and Landor finally stops the spree.
And that was strong for Burger Boys for a second.
Last
right?
round
the trade
in the
for
half.
Bonnie, Nanners, the trade for Nanners, Alvin. But then once Alvin disengaged, they tried to refight in. That's when things started looking in to Landor's favor. They started winning their ones. They get the spike. in position. And then I like the call to cancel for Moose and double swing because there was a world where somehow through the box we get to see a retro clutch in the brewing.
Yeah, and now with this here, with what we got, it's the last round of the half. It's all gonna come down to the aim we've witnessed from Bonnie. I mean, truth be told, trying to get aggro again, this time spotted out. Not quite there yet, but spots him and immediately starts getting aggressive. You have to cut off Bonnie before they get their back up, and that's gonna be Bones. Knives out, and that's Moose looking up, grabbing their pick. Alvin Boy's always good for theirs, but the timing, somehow they walk away from their bot just in time for Moose to get behind them. And oh my god, spots out one, Moose on the flank with two, make it a triple in total. Can we just find your final player? Matt, will we see this Viper fight end in a 4K?
Oh, I mean, they're such low HP. They're just trying to play for the back execution, and they find it. I mean, I said it had to be proactive blurred plays and to finish off the half with one is a statement out of Moose and a little gesture as well. They're on the player cam like, there was nothing. But aside from that 6-6 here, going back to what we saw in a closer affair in the semifinals previously, and all right, similar comps, but it's the double duelist versus the double initiator. How is this going to fare on the attack?
Honestly, a double duelist definitely going to be favoring Burger Boys. I mean, yeah, we have double initiator. If it was double sentinel, I feel like it would definitely be towards Landor, but it's Icebox. Double sentinel hasn't been a thing for like 6 months, all right? We got to just get on into this game now.
And Nanners is doing what I asked, having a better performance, but it's not necessarily in the kill department, it's setting up the team. And I think, again, it was how they played the defense. It's varied slightly in a way that was a lot more effective. So now that they are a secondary entry alongside Bonnie, I like that they're kind of free. Like, you are the shield, not just for yourself, but for your teammate.
Oh yeah, this is just a straight stalwart shield going forward, trying to lock this in. Now, if they can activate that double tap and try to bait out some information, the one thing about double duelists, you get a lot less of it. So getting this space, pushing in together, boom. That's the kind of pick we need, and that's the opening that they have. But Neptune executing before you even touch the floor. Bones keeping it going, and Nanner's able to grab 1 and 2. Nanner's keeping it up with 3. Nanner's gonna try to keep this momentum, but with double tap active, the best thing you can do if you are Moose is wait it out. And he does it. He swings, and now he's down to nothing.
Oh my goodness, and 10 HP. Burger Boy's the master of pistol rounds at this point.
Screen down.
And, I mean, I love that as soon as Nanners gets pings down to low HP, they fall off, right? Like, they don't have a duelist ego. That's what I love about this player, even on the ice still, right? I called them out for not having kills. They find 3, and they still live to tell the tale. Now,
play your life.
I mean, you got the toxic screen.
You got the toxic screen, but we have the toxic game. That's 1, but that's done. Alvin Boy on top of 410 to finish off the 10 HP player.
Yeah, the right click finally lands. They're gonna have flashbacks to that fracture moment, but
it's on Twitter already.
Like that, the lead re-secured here for Burger Boys. And I think what we've yet to see this series is someone really run away with things in the early stages of a half. So curious to see if we can see that here. I mean, it's the second round. We gotta wait to see how this goes first.
Yeah, we gotta find out if this is gonna be enough. To be honest with you, you are looking at defense pulling out some of these sheriffs. And 1 good shot, 1 now found Spectre, Bulldog, Marshall can be all that they need to turn it around. But you look over at Burger Boys. They're splitting up, searching for clues, but it's a 4 split to 1. No lurk up from this Viper in mid this time.
Here we go. I mean, the entry was pretty seamless right onto the A side. It was more the post plant that fell apart just a bit. So repeat that success. Trust in Alvin Boy to have your back, and they're going with the Ghost, so we know they're planning for the future, but can they stay in the present and find a kill?
I mean, right now you're looking at someone else trying to find kills. Burger Boys hunting for, unfortunately, an empty site.
There's an alarm bot. Deep B.
Deep B alarm bot. Yeah, we're not going to get that much info, but they're so afraid. 1 close quarter combat fight is now a Vandal in their hands. They did buy up here yet again. So Burger Boys, if you want to be taking this, you're going to have to find that value in perfect util usage against Shot Up. They can now start to execute, and there's the first pick. Bonnie starts off strong, and look at these shock darts trying to land it back and scare these players away. Spike in the default spot. Can we find some more as just Bonnie in this high ground position? might find a punishing angle.
And I thought Alvin Boy was going to go for the mid wrap here, but they're just playing belt, playing the swarm grenades that just got chucked towards the spike. And it looks like it's a die to the spike situation here for the side of Landor. We said we don't want a team to run away with attack. And talk about planning for the future in terms of economy on Burger Boy's side. Well, Landor's playing for the ult economy.
They just spotted all of them. They know exactly the game plan now. Yeah, but you're not going to try to hunt for this, especially since they did invest in those Vandals. They want to keep their lives here. It's going to be flawless, and that's what they want. But Alvin
has a ghost.
Alvin has a ghost.
He can do it.
He can do it.
He's allowed. You can spare one, but unfortunately Bones is holding the angle, so I mean you're gonna get the ult orb and buy a gun regardless next round.
Yeah, Landor, smart play to go to die to bomb, trying to. I mean, it's kind of odd that they're not trying to get some picks. I mean, their ultimates are just so powerful because of their double initiator for that retake. So going to bomb, they really don't want to give anything more than what Burger Boyz has been taking.
Yeah, I mean, Burger Boyz in this composition as well, right? The kill contract is basically taking a key part of your defense off the table in milliseconds. And, I mean, Burger Boyz can definitely capitalize on that. But with that, and with the opportunity maybe to finally convert a third round, let's take a listen in with Burger Boyz.
2.
He's one. I did it.
Killjoy's playing.
Where? I died turret.
Towards A.
Oh. Maybe.
I don't see him. Probably main.
Yellow's dead. He dead. One more.
Guys.
More. Nice.
What the buttons?
KJ was boiler guy.
Matt, don't be worried mid.
Yeah. I'm gonna say top side.
Someone's missing.
Yeah.
Could someone call everyone to be sorry?
One mid. One mid. One snow, one mid. I have kitchen still, kinda. They can pick your snow, Boney. Yeah, I know.
That's one.
I'm talking now. I'm gonna let him out. I'm letting him out tonight. Chaos snow right now. Nice. Chaos going wide.
One enemy remaining.
I'm
whoa.
nothing out.
Toxins going up.
He's right.
Snow.
All right, drop it.
Come on! Come on, man.
I mean, come on, man.
Slip it in, Gangy. I have gotten spammed every time we've done that strat. Come on, man.
And that's why we won it, maybe.
And honestly, from bot kills to Bonnie frags, I mean, that's what we gotta be seeing here, Zobi. And just the excitement, the ability for this team to keep locking this down here with Landor's strat.
No, yeah, they called it a trap play, and that it was, right? We saw the same exact jet entry from Bones last half. It worked, it caught them off guard. And instead of the Moose lurk mid, right, the late wrap, it was Alvin Boy. And we talked about how those two roles and players are interchangeable for both of these sides, and it's now been proven.
And now an orb getting grabbed by Jonah. The Hunter's Fury, we know, is almost always good for one here, as this team needs to find some value. They need to get these ult online. Because they saved that one round, died to the spike, they're not going to be able to have that advantage here. But Bon, they want to find these frags. Bonnie wants to keep on gaming, wants to just open it up for the team. Now, Spike in the hands of Nanners, not going to be that shield for this team quite yet. And there's the drone.
Bones now taking plays out of Bonnie's book, right? Trying to get ahead of the info initiator utility, but Bonnie's not going to have any of it.
And neither is Alvin Boy. Stop. We know Moose is going to alert. They know it, but Bones is who has to really shine here. That's one down onto a jet, and there's another for Neptune. They get some guns down. They manage to find themselves with a much better weaponry, and they have to now retake the B site.
I mean, at least Alvin Boy's going to get it for free. At least it's still a 3-on-3, but you've relinquished the weapons, mainly Bones, and now they're even on the flank, so you're going to get pinched multiple, wars on double fronts, unless Matt.
Oh no, that's half the HP of Bones down. And now with Bones not having the advantage to swing this, 2 hits and you're gone, and there's 2 players to try to input that amount of damage, and Bones pushing in, that's one. Doesn't get the isolated 1v1s, will be able to keep it moving, and that's Alvin Boy executing anyone pushing, and Jonah now, it's a kill contract, and let's see if it's gonna get signed here.
If it hadn't been signed, there would have been a counter offer on the table, which is Alvin Boy delivering the same results. But, I mean, that got dicey for a second, right? You worked so hard to finally, after how many attempts, get the 3rd round conversion. You achieve it, then you almost lose to a Thrifty. But this is what I kind of laid out. I'm like, we've yet to see a steamroll at the start of a half. And this is any time to do it. When it's map 3, semifinals, and you're about to make a trip to the grand finals, Burger Boyz putting in the work when it counts, everyone firing on all cylinders.
Yeah, all cylinders now. We're looking at a tall one, 10 rounds down. double digits and 4-round differential. We've seen Landor come back here, but the fact that they need to tells us that they are in the semifinals with a lot of fear. But as we get into this round, it's time to look at Shut Up.
Yeah, I mean, they're fluffy player, left here, they're divisive, but again, a mass rotation, and the operator online for the first time, in conjunction with the Hunter Sphere to try to obscure the fact that here, they're going to swing into the op. I'm betting there's going to be a pick here. There has to be.
That is an uncharacteristic use of Jonas. And yeah, swinging into the op, that's one thing, but it's actually both. Op might be able to find one, but no! Retro gone down to the util. They're finding theirs, but Nanners still having that double tap. Dodges it, but the 9-op combo, and that's a drop here. As this team might be able to find more. Dashing out, Alvin Boy, that's going to be able to get one, and let's see that. Oh, Neptune able to just end out the round. So we're not quite done for Landor. They still have the abilities.
Yeah, the attract and aware this was there, but a difficult clutch nonetheless. And I saw the panic in Alvin Boy, right? There's no great anxiety than being a lurking sentinel and realizing your entire team is falling on the opposite side. You saw them start speeding up mid without wanting to give up the advantage, and just it was too late. But novelty factor of the operator gone for Bones. I talked about this prize element, and I'm like, they're going to get one guaranteed. Wall drops. Boom. And it sucks that it was on to Bonnie, who's consistently prodding forward and disrupting these styles of retakes, because then it was easy peasy for Landor.
I'm just looking at the kill feed, and not the kill feed, the scoreboard right now. Both of these teams have pretty much the same distribution. This is a lot closer in stats than in rounds. It does come down to those post-spike moments. And now Bonnie has a dash, is going to use it to go right into the knife. A little bit mistime, but oh, Bones. Oh, Opper. Let's see if you're proper. Let's see if you're going to be able to make someone up with the phone.
Good updraft. You know the operator's here. And I mean, you challenge on Raptors anyways. What happened to the snake bite combos we were seeing? It was such a clean exec strategy last time. So maybe, again, it's been a long day. They're starting to slip. But speaking of slips, Matt trying to push through B, but Killjoy utility thorough. They left Bonnie on a lurk, but it's pinged out too.
It makes people stay here. Bonnie is distracting too, and one of those players is Moose, and that's all you have to do to keep your team afloat. Push on to B. They have what it takes. You trust your team, but what can Bonnie offer us? Wants to swing it, spots it, and gets it. That's what we're talking about for Bonnie, and immediately dashing out of there. They're gone, and their team needs to hit this, but Bonnie
30 seconds left.
Can we see it?
They know.
Oh, so smart. They knew the op was here. They know that the rotate is going to come through, and they're just distracting. And that's a shot. Now they have to run because the lockdown. Their teammates able to tandem, but it's going to be shot up to shut down. And now, will we find more? Retro being able to back it up. Gets the spike planted.
Spike planted.
Split up here. One snowman. No, they're upping the timing on the wall. Just mismatched. Shot player standing. The flank, though, it's all down to Bones.
Bones wants to try to just stick it to half. Stick it to half with no more smokes. It's too much of the delays, too much of the decays. Trying to keep them at bay. And now taps it. Thinks that they could bait someone to swing, but they're smarter than that. But oh, the bait outshot. We know that that was a wall bang, and what a flick. Bones, no! Finally shut down by Alvin.
The operator not pulled out fast enough, unlike the quick draw, the quick flick on to Matt. I mean, the rotation setup there, like you mentioned, the attention draw of Bonnie consistently from start to finish. It was all perfect. And without that added layer of security for the lockdown, I don't think it would have gone Burger Boy's ways. So great allocation.
God, oh my, it's just so clean. And unfortunately, it's on the team that needs a lot more of them. Because right now, 11-7 here. We've talked a lot about the comebacks from this spot, but it's Burger Boys who takes those. And now, it's an aggressive play. Bones, yet again, armed to the teeth with the snipers in hand, but will we find the value from it? Boom! Beautiful read. Bonnie taking out Bones like that. We're not going to be seeing any more flicks. We're not going to be seeing any more picks from Bones.
More Bonnie, though. Trade.
But look at that. What a shot up pick here from Moose. Taking out Nanners like this. We do have now a re-hit, but 3 versus 4, they're going to have to open up B, and it comes down to what we talked about earlier. It's the KJ difference. It's going to be Alvin Boy to be our boy to maybe, just maybe, shut down shot ups hold.
And I mean, at this point, I'm like hoping, maybe if you had some shock dart left, you could just shock dart the alarm bot, go in a little bit quicker here. so they don't have time to react. I mean, Shot Up, I'm guessing going to be playing his life here, right? Your entire team stacked towards the A side instead, so you're just here for info.
I mean, they still have a lot of util to try to burn them off the spike, try to push them away, and Retro going for the plant, alarm bot triggered. And you get it, but the spike, it's still planted, it doesn't even matter. And that is now 2 down, but these are the 2 post-plant characters you want every single time, and these are the 2 players that know how to aim, and that's gonna be 1 player. Corner checking it over by Snowman. Matt has that high advantage, but he can be high and dry, or will we find the pick? And oh, that's 1 for Alvin Boy. And there's another for Alvin Boy! Huge double down! It's just a player on spike, and unfortunately, there's so much util burning him away. Landor, they had all of the advantage, but it's nothing to Alvin.
Last player
Shut
standing.
down, shot up, 1 more. And that's the round, match point advantage.
Wow, everyone in the arena just fell silent, even us. We wanted that anticipation. We wanted just to see what happened. I mean, we thought for sure, like, luck was gone, right? And you can see, yeah, Burger Boys definitely about to send these players packing 1 round away. It'll take 5 to get to overtime here for Landor. I don't even want to look at the bye here, because I think for Landor fans, it may be disappointing.
I mean, they still have buys. They still have some vandals.
Yeah, they had like a stinger. It was like a half buy last round.
Yeah, they can do this. Information, they're good for it. They have what they need, but remember, this is all for who goes to finals, and Burger Boys has the momentum, the advantage, the energy. I can feel it radiating off the stage right now as they are slowly inching towards the Radiant Knights site. It's time for A.
I mean, if they can win a round with Nanners and Bonnie eliminated seconds into the round, that's telling how strong, how locked in this team is. Alvin Boy, we waited for them to be back on their roll, and this is what happens. But this is different. You've crept up this far without making noise, without contact being made.
410 knows where they are, but are they going to be able to get the jump down onto Moose? Bonnie looking for someone in this position. It's Matt who finds 1. Bonnie gets another execution. Another 1 for Bonnie. It's all up to Bones. You want to go to the grand finals? Then clutch an ace. Let's see it.
Spike planted.
Wow. And their first challenger, Alvin Boy, maybe what would have been the hardest player to win against. Knife out! Are you giving up? What's going on? The Hunter's Fury comes in! Nanners hunting through it!
And that's it.
Bonnie's the one that finishes it off.
When it's a 5 versus 1, the only thing you can say is, I am done. And that is the case. Burger Boys versus Blue Otter coming on up here. What a play. Honestly, people were ruling out Burger Boys.
I mean, respect shown, earned here, and now they are going to be going up against Blue Otter in the grand finals. I mean, you saw the celebrations on stage. You saw the players, eliminated players, rooting on this team in the audience. And I love that Jason, the first thing he does when he finishes is goes and daps up a teammate.
Yeah, you got to dap them up. You got to be able to say, good job today.
I know, I'm guessing there's handshakes too. Like,
yeah, fist bumps. I mean, that was the toughest series we've seen today for like damn good reason. All right, like exactly what we needed to have.
And now what seems scary is that Blue Otter's Instaban now, at least today, is Icebox. So they don't get to have that strength there.
The question now is, with all of the teams that have gone through, with all that we know about these players, it really does come down to comfort. It comes down to skill. And let me ask you guys, if you're watching from home, if you're watching in the arena, please let us know. I want to find the predictions out. Who is the favored team here? Who are we having the betting odds for here in Vegas? Who is putting it all on Burger Boys? It's all on Blue Otter or all on Burger Boys?
A team that earned their qualification spot through one of the online events. A team that was invited, that has proven their prestige through the Challengers League, is going to be an all-out VCL brawl for our grand finals. But we're not done. We got to see what allowed this to happen. Which players in your mind, as you truly stepped up for this team to level up, beating a team like Northwood, very close, OT, to beating a team like Landor?
Okay, first off, Alvin Boy right there.
Yeah.
Alvin Boy cleaning it up. Bonnie starts it off, and Alvin Boy finishes it. It was a two-piece combo meal. And
9!
Yeah,
First blood.
9 first blood. He started every time, and guess what? All of those were on Bones. So the only rounds that Bones could get the first blood was when he wasn't absolutely shut down here by Bonnie.
I think it was when he was opting is when he found the most first blood. But aside from that, if Bonnie, like, it always looked effortless, right? It's either they were shut down or they were, like, styled. And that just says volumes about the vibes on this team, the mental going into the grand finals, which have been made into a best of 3 now.
A best of 3, not a best of 5, but we're going to be seeing the best of Valorant here in Vegas. There's no other event that's going to give us this level of competition currently attending. Let's see if these players are going to be able to step it up and two challenger teams challenging themselves again here at the Funhaver X HyperX Arena Momentum Series Season 4 Spike Drop.
And you know what's even better is, if I remember correctly, right, during a lot of these interviews, like, they named each other. Like, Burger Boys was naming Blue Otter as the consistent threat. Now they get to prove that they are the opponent worth facing off against.
Yeah, and honestly, with the way that these games have been going, I cannot wait to see what we got going on, except for a post-game interview. I've talked to Nanners a lot, but let's see how they feel after that match.
Thank you so much, Edu. Welcome back, Spike Drop fans. It is Championship Sunday once more. We just had it as such an intense semifinals game. The first one to go all the way into map 3, and it was a map that so far has been a very challenging one for pretty much every single team that has survived up until the semifinals. But now, there's only 2 teams left, and one of them is the Burger Boys themselves with Nanners. How are you, my guy?
Feeling pretty good.
Yeah, feeling pretty good? Shaking a little bit?
Yeah, a little bit.
I mean, it was such an intense final game. Alvin, Bonnie, I mean, really everybody stepped up, but they exploded in that final map.
Yeah, everyone on this team has the star power to show up when we need them, and we proved it today.
Yeah. Absolutely. So here's the big thing, right? I don't know if you realize this, but you just ended one of the longest winning streaks of a team in Valorant North America in general. 34 series in a row from Landor, shut down completely, but that Icebox win.
Yeah, we played them a couple times previously in other Funhaver events, and so it's good to finally get a win on them.
It must feel good because it was the first team that you guys were the first team that beat them since January. Was there a major change that you made from your team to beat Landor this time around?
Quite recently, we changed some roles around on some certain maps and kind of formed more to the meta with Teo and Breach, and I think it's helping out.
So what about the ISO, though? I mean, your ISO was so good at taking fights, yes, but you're really good about setting up Bonnie, too.
Yeah, it's something that our IGL Rhett kind of brought up, that maybe we try and play ISO on Icebox instead of the normal Reyna, and it's been working out.
Now, to skip ahead a little bit, your grand finalist team, Blue Otter, it's the only map that they had lost so far going into this tournament. Do you think that ISO, if you play Icebox, is going to return?
We'll see.
Oh, okay. So grand finals is going to be VCL team versus VCL team. A lot of people had doubts about whether or not both the challengers teams would be able to make it up to snuff to be in grand finals. I always had faith, but there was a lot of doubters there too. How do you feel about that?
Yeah, I mean, it's kind of expected for us to be doubted. We were doubted all Challenger Season 2. We weren't able to perform during the season, but we're feeling better now.
That's amazing. And of course, this is a team in VCL that you have faced plenty of times before, even outside of VCL before that. Long historical matchups. It's you, Burger Boys, versus Blue Otter once more. Do you have anything special up your sleeves that maybe you could tell us beforehand?
I don't think I have anything special, but it'll be fun to play them again. They beat us the last couple times, kind of like Landor, so we're ready to end the streak this time.
So same mental, same mindset going into this?
Yeah, same thing going forward.
Well, there's only one more challenge up ahead for you, Nanners. Could very well be the champion here. Could have another interview with you again. Fans, friends, families, enemies, Blue Otter watching. What do you have to say to all of them?
Just good luck and have fun.
Good luck and have fun. No truer words ever said. I'm very excited for the grand finals. Nanners, thank you so much, man. It's been a pleasure to interview you, and who knows, maybe we'll have a second one right around the corner. But with that being said, though, we do have to prepare for the grand finals. It's going to be such an amazing banger. Now's the time to get food. If you're at the venue or at home, go to the bathroom, but don't go anywhere. We need you here because this is going to be an amazing grand finals. But we do have to take a small break.